But I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of NFL people who believe that Trevor Lawrence is number one no matter what. We'll move on.
It's good, though.
NFC Green Bay home throughout. New Orleans gets a shot to get Kamara back because of the schedule. Their game in Chicago is Sunday. Lucky break. Seahawks, Rams know each other well. Bucks coming in hot to play football team. No structural damage in the knee of Mike Evans. That's some good news coming for Tampa Bay today. Tim, is Green Bay far and away the team here, or is there any other team rising for you?
I don't know about far and away, just maybe away from the rest of the field. They're better, and Aaron Rodgers seems to be on that kind of roll.
Yeah.
He was on 10 years ago. Hard to believe it was that long since he came to Dallas and won, where it didn't matter who was around him, seemingly, and he was just on fire, and I think that's going to happen
Emily
again.
Kaplan?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Green Bay is the team here, but I wouldn't want to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are buzzing their last 4 games. It's an us-against-the-world mentality. They're souped up on their avocado ice cream. They had 21 fourth-quarter points in a pretty much meaningless Week 17 game. Like, you don't want to play that.
Pablo Torre?
I would warn you, though, the New Orleans Saints and all of this, Tony, they got a gift from the NFL scheduling gods. They got to play on Sunday instead of Saturday, which means Kamara might be back, which means the running backs may be back. That team, when healthy, is as good as anybody, so give me the Saints.
Sedano?
I'm buying the pack, Tony. Aaron Rodgers, 125 quarterback rating, second highest in the history of the sport, and he had 48 TDs this year. His punter only had 46 punts. He had more TDs than they had punts.
Your MVP, or did Derrick Henry get to 2,000 yards kind of sway you a little bit?
No.
Rodgers?
He's my MVP.
Kalisha?
For
Rodgers?
Sure. Yes.
Rodgers.
Kaplan?
I like Rodgers, but Henry shouldn't be discounted.
Pablo Torre?
Josh Allen, man. Come on. What are we doing?
Oh, you are so high in Buffalo. Okay, I'll give points just for the vote there. We'll move on. Let's get back to the Miami Dolphins, please. They needed to win Sunday to make the playoffs. They did not. They led up 56 points. 2 or 3 interceptions. How all this played out, Emily, the complete letdown yesterday and the number 3 pick because of their trade with Houston coming their way. What should they do? Could they take a quarterback?
No, big picture, nobody expected anything from this team this year. The fact that they were playing a game with playoff implications in the last week is good. They've got to be happy with what they got on Brian Flores.
All right, but nobody expected them to let up 56 in a game where Buffalo was playing backups in the second. Pablo Torre, how about you?
I can't appreciate Josh Allen that much and not give Tua more time, but I will say a really smart thing to do would be to draft a receiver, top 3, and then bring back Ryan Fitzpatrick. Just get on your knees and genuflect and beg for him to come.
Okay, all right, that's enough out of that. George Sedano, how about you?
Tony, unless Justin Fields or Trevor's there, you don't take a quarterback at 3. Tua's wide receiving group, 3rd in most drops this season, 27th in YAC. Listen, he needs weapons. They had a terrible offense around him.
DC.
2 quarterbacks are going to go first. That means the best tackle to come into the draft in the last 10 years or whatever, Sewell, is going to be sitting there to block for Tua and whoever for the next 10 years. You take him, you don't backtrack.
I'm shocked none of you guys are coming in hard on this team. 56 points in a game they needed to win to make the playoffs. That's what they allowed.
They're not good.
Draft some defense.
Well, they're not bad, though. I mean, I know Tua's got nobody around him, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, in the time he was playing, managed to put together a top 10 passer rating season. That's what happened here. All right, we got to get... Oh, Kalisha and Kaplan are going away, which means Sedano and Torre in showdown, and maybe a FaceTime tribute for the right to tribute and honor and roast Dan Le Batard. George, Pablo, good luck in showdown. 6 job openings right now in the NFL with Jacksonville and the LA Chargers and the New York Jets adding to Atlanta, Houston, and Detroit. What's the best position, George?
I'm going to go the Houston Texans, Tony. Deshaun Watson literally put up an MVP type of season, despite everything else falling apart around him, from coach to GM to players, all falling around him.
How, George, are you in L.A. and not taking the Chargers? The Chargers with the guy who just set the rookie quarterback passing touchdown record, second all-time in terms of rookie passing yards. That's the job, Tony, right there in Georgia City.
Because they're the Chargers. That's why.
Point Pablo Torre. We'll move on. Steph, 62. After all the slander, what does it prove, Pablo?
It proves that we need to respect the institution of Steph Curry, Tony. The guy is a unique, historical talent. Respect what he can do despite all of these circumstances.
Tony, what it proves is the Warriors need to put better players around him very quickly, not Andrew Wiggins or Kelly Oubre, guys who can really help him win another championship because he's capable of doing that.
That peak era is going quickly. Do you see the stat? Second oldest to get to 60. Only Kobe in his last game was older. That's incredible. All right, George Sedano, I'm going to give you 30 seconds of FaceTime. I think I know where it's going. Please.
Thank you, Tony. Listen, I got to make sure we shout out our buddy Dan Le Batard today. It is his last day at ESPN on the radio show on HQ. And look, Dan, I remember, even though you're 8 years older than me, I remember reading you as a child and thinking to myself, what a clown. And then all of a sudden I got to meet you and we became friends over the last 20 years. And I thought to myself, what a clown. Nonetheless, we still love you. And we wish you all the best. Thank you for everything you've done for every single one of us here at ESPN and for what you've done for Latino journalists in the media. We love you, buddy.
Ed Stugatz, Mike Ryan Ruiz, Chris Cody, Tony, Roy Bellamy, Billy Gill. And to Dan, I say this. You are the...
It's a massive weekend of FA Cup football on BT Sport with 16 live matches across the channel, starting with Villa v Liverpool on Friday. Non-league Chorley are eyeing an upset against Derby County, while Man United have a potential banana skin against Championship flyers Watford.
Many of us struggle to feel confident when it comes to decisions about our finances. At ClearScore, we help you understand your credit report, improve your score, and find credit card and loan offers that are personalised to you. We lay out your options in one place, including exclusive deals. And with pre-approved offers, you stay in control, knowing where you stand before you even apply. Join 9 million people using ClearScore. Download the free app today. ClearScore, making credit work for you.
Suck it now. Look at that. Baby, let me do it. Let me do it till you let me kiss you, baby. Hey! Baby, let me do it. Let me do it till you let me kiss you, baby. Suck it. You're looking good now. Feeling good.
Been paid out for missold PPI in the last 4 years? Did you know you could have received more money? Some banks pay tax to HMRC and shouldn't have, which means you could have received more than you did. At Gowing Law, 9 out of 10 clients received more money. Let us help you get back what you're owed. You could have your payment in as little as 8 weeks. Text PPI to 80818, the PPI tax refund. Contact Gowing Law today. Text PPI to 80818.
Yes,
By playing the National Lottery, you raise £30 million for good causes every week. That can create 20,000 community football teams.
This boat, thank you.
Or provide support for 30,000 veterans. £30 million can fund 900 local library projects. Or train 1,000 new assistance dogs. Every week, you raise £30 million for good causes. The National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen.
Ah, I know what you're thinking. Another ad selling the dream of self-improvement. It looks so easy. Yeah, right. We know it's not all sunshine and six-packs, so why not choose an easier goal to accomplish, like stock investing on eToro. Simply choose a stock, set an amount, and hit trade. And because buying stocks is commission-free, you get to keep everything. Now that's something you can stick to. Join over 15 million others like you and start investing today. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app. Lovely.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon, starting the new year on assignment in Arizona.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. What time does this assignment tee off exactly?
Well, you know, if I could get you in and out of the attic on time, I might have a little daylight left, you know, for maybe 12 to 14 holes. That's pretty good.
What do you got? You got 65 and clear there in Arizona today for the next week or so?
For the record, 66 and clear, just so you don't dock us a degree.
Oh, great. 66 and clear. It's wonderful. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Bills and Packers roll into the playoffs while the Bears crab walk in backwards. But we begin today with the Washington football team making the playoffs, in part because the Philadelphia Eagles put a third-string quarterback out there in crunch time for no apparent reason. Nate Sudfeld, who hadn't played a down all year, turned the ball over twice in the first 2 series he played. Later, Eagles coach Doug Peterson said, quote, "I was coaching to win. I felt Nate deserved an opportunity to get some snaps," unquote. Wilbon, was Peterson coaching to win?
No, he lied. No, he wasn't coaching to win, and maybe that was ordered from on high. I mean, you don't know how organizations work and what they value at a certain time. But no, and when I watched Peterson's post-game live, because I wanted to see what he was going to say, how he was going to handle that. Because I don't care about the Giants. They don't owe the Giants anything. But he owes his own team something, the guys in his locker room in that huddle. And when he started ticking off the starters who were on the field, and then he gets to the quarterback, it's like, wait a minute. If you're going to sit here and use as evidence all the starters who are out there, what about the quarterback, including a guy you need to see in these situations going forward to find out if he's the franchise quarterback? No, it was just a big fat lie. He wasn't coaching to win. There was another agenda. He clearly isn't going to be honest about it, but there was something else.
Yeah, so I think this is an integrity issue. I would like to see the NFL say he wasn't coaching to win. We're going to fine him $1 million. I think it's also an arrogance issue. I think Doug Peterson was very, very arrogant about this. You take out Jalen Hurts. He's a guy who has run for 2 touchdowns in that game. He's given you your points, and you say, I want to see Nate Sudfeld have some snaps. You ought to want to see what Jalen Hurts can do in a crunch time situation with some snaps, because he's only played 3 games for you, and you got to make a decision on him. You've already made a decision on Nate Sudfeld. He can't play. You don't know if Jalen Hurts has a major league arm yet. You're not exactly sure. So you don't take him out. And, I mean, people will say, I made a list of this. People will say, well, they had nothing to play for. A lot of teams had nothing to play for yesterday, right? The Falcons were trying, the Texans were trying, the 49ers were trying, the Chargers were trying. And to your point, Mike, if you watch the Jets when they won a game a couple of weeks ago, that meant a lot to players. If I'm a Philadelphia Eagles player, I feel my coach has undercut me. I feel he's let me down. Yes.
Tony, if I'm a starter, all right, and I could be injured and break a leg, and it could be my last play anytime. I'm out there trying at the end of that game, and he puts Sudfeld out there. At least just have the conviction when you walk to the lectern and the microphone after the game to say, I wanted to see this guy have some snaps. This is like senior night. I wanted him to have a chance. Just say that and live with it. Don't lie and say, I was trying to win, because your actions undercut your words. They really did.
See, they could have won. Washington can't score.
They could have won.
Washington doesn't have any offense.
They could have won the game.
That's right. If you leave Hurts in there, you're 1 touchdown away from winning. I mean, look, am I happy for Washington? I live in Washington. I'm happy for Washington. This is a bogus thing that happened.
I'm sort of happy that it involves the Eagles, who, as you know, I'm sick of all of them. All of them, starting with Pennsylvania. What state is he going to tack on to his name next? Because he ain't going to be in Pennsylvania if they have a brain, and I'm not sure they do. The AFC featured several games of consequence yesterday. The Browns made the playoffs for the first time in 18 years by just sort of sliding past the Steelers. The Bills blasted the Dolphins, killed them by 30, eliminating Miami from postseason contention. The Bills will now face the Colts, who earned a wild card spot with a win over the Jaguars. And the Titans won the AFC South when Sam Sloman's field goal attempt doinked, not double doinked, doinked through the uprights. Tony, which of these teams had the biggest win?
Well, I mean, the Buffalo win was the biggest win in terms of being impressive. They dismantled Miami. They put 1,000 points on them. And by the way, if I'm running Miami now, after what I've seen the last 2 to 3 weeks, I'm not sure Tua is my franchise quarterback.
Not certain.
I really wish I could have gone back and gotten Justin Herbert, and because he might be my franchise quarterback had I drafted him. But the biggest win was Cleveland, because Cleveland hasn't been in the playoffs in 18 years, and Cleveland for the last 8 to 10 years has been a running joke. They fire coaches all the time. They get nothing right. I really, you can say that Pittsburgh didn't play everybody, but they announced before the game that they weren't going to play a lot of people. But Cleveland still had to win that game. And Cleveland had all these coronavirus issues. Mike, I know you've been hard on Baker Mayfield for quite some time, but at the end of that game, he ran for a bunch of first downs. He held on to the ball. He kept the sticks moving. That felt like a big game for him.
Tony, I have been rough on Baker Mayfield, justifiably so, because Baker Mayfield, for a long time, behaved like a fool. And I know he's young and immature, and you get a chance to grow up, and it seems Baker Mayfield has done that. The narrative hasn't changed. He changed it by the way he's played, and also, as far as I'm concerned, by the way he's conducted himself. And so, look, Tony, I spent a lot of time in Cleveland covering sports over the last few decades, and I know what that city's like when their teams are good. It pulsates in a way that a lot of other more overrated, larger cities get credit for how great their fan bases are. And it's Cleveland that's a great fan base in everything. I've been there when the Indians have won, or close. I've been there, you know, obviously when LeBron has won. And now for the Cleveland Browns, great win. But, Tony, the most impressive win came from the Buffalo Bills, who looked like I would walk down the dark alley with them to play Kansas City any day. And I think the Bills can and very well may beat the Chiefs if they play them in the playoffs. And I tell you what else, the Ravens. I'll walk with either one of those teams in the dark of night to play the Chiefs. I understand the Chiefs are the favorite at 14-2. They've earned it. But the Buffalo Bills look like a team that'll walk out, take their jacket off, and fight you to the death.
Let me just mention the other two things. Tennessee, that was a really great game to watch. They got a Hail Mary when it wasn't called a Hail Mary by Tannehill. And then they got, as you say, the guy, a substitute kicker, doinks it off the side and it goes in. Oh. But I can't figure, Indianapolis is the least flashy, least scary 11-5 team I have ever seen. I have no read whatsoever on the Indianapolis Colts. Absolutely none. Wilbon, congratulations. Your Bears are in the playoffs, but not because of anything they did yesterday. They were soundly beaten by Green Bay, 35-16. Aaron Rodgers, who has to be the MVP, threw 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers, had a passer rating of 147.9. I'm not a math major, but that sounds like a lot. Do the Packers look like the Super Bowl favorite to you?
In the NFC, sure. I mean, I think they look better than New Orleans, and I'm not sure about New Orleans and its situation in terms of health coming out of this past weekend, even though they're going to get a couple of big studs back for Sunday's wild card game, playoff game with the Bears. I'm going with the Packers, Tony. You have to. You mentioned that Aaron Rodgers has to be the MVP. Well, if you're the MVP in professional sports, usually, and you're the quarterback of a team, your team ought to be the team to beat. And so I don't know how you look at, and also that defense has gotten better. I know there were questions about the Packers defense. Your team ought to be in the season. There shouldn't be any more. They gave up 1 touchdown on the road. Granted, the Bears are so offensively challenged, but they gave up 1 offensive touchdown yesterday. Yeah, I think that the Green Bay Packers look like the clear #1 seed. Could they be upset by Seattle in Green Bay? Yes, they could. But I'm going with the Packers, and I'm willing to bet everything that you are too.
This is interesting because the question was, do they look like the Super Bowl favorites? And then you isolated it to the NFC. If I am looking big picture, if I am looking big picture, I am looking at Kansas City. I understand they haven't pounded people like maybe they could, but I think they have fewer flaws than any other team, and I think they have better players. I heard what you said about Baltimore, heard what you said about Buffalo. I agree with that. Buffalo looks great, and Baltimore, if they get any kind of a playoff run from Lamar Jackson, who's been terrible in playoffs so far, they could run everybody out of the gym. But I'll go to the NFC, and I'll agree with you about Green Bay for this reason. Home field, but not because of fans. Home field because of weather. January in Green Bay is brutal for other teams. New Orleans is a dome team. I know they get Kamara back. I know they get Michael Thomas back. I don't know how they'll do outdoors. Tampa Bay is a Florida team. I know that Brady and Gronkowski have won in cold weather, obviously. I don't know about everybody else. And you mentioned Seattle. Seattle, to me, honestly, Mike, lately is underwhelming. I know they win games, but they're underwhelming to me. They are.
They only got to be whelming for one day. They got to be whelming for 60 minutes, and they can do that because they got their own weather and not scared to go up to Green Bay and play in that weather. So
no, but you know, Aaron
Tony,
Rodgers
here's the other thing: Kansas City's got a tougher road. KC's got a tougher road to go.
Yeah, because the AFC is better. They're better at this point. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, this is going to be his 5th NFC Championship game and the first one in Green Bay. Let's take a break. Coming up, several NFL coaches are shown the door. Which open job is the best one?
And Alabama is favored, of course, over the Buckeyes. But which is the more impressive team right now?
So you think Kansas City's going out? You do, right?
No.
I don't.
No.
Wonder and vision, aren't we a 5-pair?
This is our home now.
Oh, this is gonna be a gas!
Is this really happening?
WandaVision.
Welcome home.
An original series exclusively streaming soon on Disney+.
Real love is lighting up her world and making moments that last forever. Every 14 minutes, someone finds love on eHarmony.
Clean January has really increased my productivity. Now, I'm twice as annoying.
Chin chin.
Spending more time online. Things slowing down. Feel like you don't have any privacy? We have enough to worry about. Your digital life shouldn't be one of them. At Avira, our one-click security solution helps keep your digital life secure, private, and fast. And best of all, it's free. Avira Free Security. Stay home, stay connected, stay secure. Download now at Avira.com.
Simon and Joe both invest in stocks. Simon uses eToro to invest in stocks without paying commission. Joe has to pay his bank a commission every time he buys or sells a stock. Simon gets investment ideas from top traders on eToro's newsfeed. Joe gets investment ideas from Cousin Harvey.
Laserdiscs.
So why is Joe just as good an investor as Simon? He's not, because Simon uses eToro and Joe doesn't. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app today.
A rare and beautiful tiger, trapped by vicious steel cables, slowly dying. Another victim of wildlife crime. Adopt a better future for tigers with WWF and help stop their painful deaths. We'll send you an exciting adoption pack with a cuddly toy. Call 0800 035 7100 and adopt a tiger for just £3 a month. We must do all we can to keep them alive.
It's back. Big tasty, big silence.
Buying a used car? We know there are a lot of questions.
How many days has it been on the forecourt?
Has it had any serious damage?
What's the mileage?
Is there room for triplets?
And we all know the most important question is always,
Am I getting a good deal?
Car Gurus has the answer. Only Car Gurus gives every car a deal rating from great to overpriced. Car Gurus makes it fast and easy to find great deals from top-rated dealers. Find your great deal today at Car Gurus.
All right, I'm Wyn Evans, the Go Compare man. I'm often asked who does the singing voice on the ads. Come on, it's me. Here I am in real life. So, where would a mere tenner get £250 free excess cover on his car insurance? Go Compare!
It's mail time, where we do it for the kids let me see who's first here.
Mail time.
Whose kids we doing this?
The kids.
Jerry's
Which
kids?
NFL job is the most attractive, Wilbon?
Tony, as you know, there seems like there's, a new job coming open every day, and particularly today, where you have situations like Jacksonville becoming, clear for a new landing. The Jets last night. I mean, you've got now some decent-looking jobs out there, Tony, but I don't think anything is great. I don't think the Jaguar situation is great, even though you can go in with the #1 overall pick, the Golden Boy quarterback of the future from Clemson. You can do all that. I'm going to say actually Atlanta. Even though I don't believe you have to have Matt Ryan, you can move on for there. Of the situations I'm looking at, their cupboard seems less bare than other places like Houston. While they have a great quarterback, the previous regime gave away every other great player. So I'm going to say I'd like Atlanta's situation more than the others.
See, I was surprised earlier today when the Chargers fired Anthony Lynn. They had won 4 games in a row. And I thought they were going to stay with him, even though he had lost so many close games after the last 2 years. So because that opened up and because they have Justin Herbert, who has proven as a first-year player that he's a really good quarterback, and you need a really good quarterback, I'm going to go with that. My second choice would have been Houston because of Deshaun Watson. Well, look, Trevor Lawrence may turn out to be great, but if you take that job, in 2 years, if you're no good, they boot you just when they're going to get good. So.
Unless your name is Urban Meyer, they're not going to boot him after just 2 years, right?
All right. Which college team is more impressive to you right now, Alabama or Ohio State?
Tony, if I had to go with who the best team is right now, it still looks like Alabama. I know their defense is statistically a little bit challenged, actually, particularly pass defense. But Ohio State, I mean, coming off that win and kicking Dabo Swinney's butt after he ran his mouth about essentially their 11th. Well, if they're 11th and they kicked your butt all over the yard, what are you? So Ohio State coming off that win, and particularly when that whole offense, starting with the quarterback, was challenged about how good they were after they struggled against the Northwestern University, I'll still take Ohio State. That's a hell of a rebound act, don't you think?
Yeah, well, they've looked great in 1 game in a row. Can they look great in 2 games in a row? I mean, when they played Northwestern, they didn't look good at all. The quarterback, Justin Fields, looked less than ordinary. Now, he just had a great game. And you're right. Dabo Swinney opened up his fat yap and has 20 feet in it. But Alabama, over the course of the year, Alabama is the more impressive team. And they've beaten Florida, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. So, Alabama right now, although they can be beaten, we've heard enough from the kids. Let's take one last break, but still to come. Did Texas make the right decision to dump Tom Herman for Steve Sarkisian?
Texas. And should we look at Steph Curry's 62 as an aberration or a sign of things to come? Nobody strings 62s. It's an aberration.
The Texas thing was really a surprise to me. He's 4-0 in bowl games.
But their arrogance knows no bounds. It's Texas.
Wow. Happy time, people. Happy 27th birthday, Derrick Henry, the most physical running back in the NFL. Henry will run by you or through you. It's your choice. Henry won the Heisman Trophy at Alabama and continued his greatness as a pro. For the 2nd straight year, he led the league in rushing yards. This year with 2,027, and he was first in rushing touchdowns with 17. Henry would probably be getting MVP buzz if the Titans hadn't wheezed a bit at the end of the season. You can do a highlight tape of Henry stiff-arming aspiring tacklers and reducing them to clowns.
Josh Norman particularly, who likes to run his mouth about all the stuff he can do. But Derrick Henry, man, Tony, it's also a case of good coaching. Because you can get caught up in trends and say, well, you got to throw the ball now. You can't use this old-fashioned running back. And Vrabel and his staff, good for them that they recognize the special talent that they have and they use it.
Happy anniversary, Indianapolis Colts. On this day 7 years ago, Andrew Luck led the Colts back from a 38-10 third-quarter deficit to beat the Chiefs 45-44 in the wild-card round of the playoffs. This was one of those games where people said Andrew Luck is going to be an all-timer, but injuries drove him out of the game. Luck missed the 2017 season with a shoulder injury, came back in 2018 but retired just before the 2019 season. In 6 seasons, Luck was 53-33 as a starter, threw 171 touchdowns and 83 interceptions, and made 4 Pro Bowls. And now he is a ghost.
Tony, it's not good for the league to lose Andrew Luck. And now when you look at Cam Newton and you look at the brilliance that has been there, the athleticism, all the charisma, all that he is and what the league thrives on. And that's great quarterback play and great quarterback personalities. And we don't know if we're going to have Cam Newton. He's taken so many shots over his career, but no Luck and Cam diminished. That's not good for the NFL, no matter how many people are coming up behind you. Those 2 guys should have been marquee players for another, 6, 7 years at least?
We would like to give a melancholy trails to 4 Hall of Famers who died in the period of time when we were off the air. Phil Niekro, who won 318 games for the Braves, Indians, Yankees, and Blue Jays over 24 seasons. Casey Jones, who won 10 championships with teammate Bill Russell, 2 in college at the University of San Francisco, and 8 more with the Celtics. Then later coached the Larry Bird Celtics to championships in 1984 and 1986. Paul Westphal, a great player and 5-time All-Star with the Celtics and Phoenix Suns, who won a title with Boston in 1974 as a player, and then coached the Suns to the NBA Finals in 1993. And Floyd Little, the great all-purpose running back, who was a 3-time All-American at Syracuse and rushing champion and 5-time Pro Bowler with the Denver Broncos.
Tony, it just seemed like one gut punch after another over the weekend. You and I talked a couple of times, losing these men. We knew a couple more than others. Casey Jones, thank you to David Dupree. Because of that relationship, I got to be around and listen to the great Casey Jones. And being here in Arizona, Tony, Paul Westphal is a sort of Mount Rushmore figure in sports here. And through Charles Barkley and Eddie Johnson and other friends of mine in the NBA, I got to be around Paul Westphal some. And just a delightful man as a player and coach. And it's just another difficult weekend losing the people that we've lost.
And a bonus happy trails to Dan Le Batard. We want to recognize Dan Le Batard's last day at ESPN by sharing with you some of his notable appearances as a guest host on this program. He was the best and most annoying fill-in we ever had, as he tried to sabotage the show all the time and redirect it towards himself, and we loved him for it.
The BAMs are making me laugh right now, Tony, because you and I, of course, know Le Batard, not when he was a broadcast star, but a damn good, great columnist for the Miami Herald.
That's right.
All that flowed from that. And so that is how I'm always going to think of Dan Le Batard, as I go, bam!
One omission. The Nets say Kevin Durant is out tomorrow against the Jazz for health and safety protocols, and we go now to the big finish.
Let's do it.
Sean McVay says he's not sure whether Jared Goff will be healthy enough to play against the Seahawks on Saturday. Your thoughts?
I know the Rams got past the Cardinals yesterday without him, but they're going to need Goff, I believe, to win that playoff game against Seattle. Texas fired Tom Herman, hired Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian. Does that make sense to you?
Herman was 32-18 and 4-0 in bowl games. What is Texas thinking? What did Texas think? Steph Curry had a career-high 62 in a win over the Blazers. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, Tony. Only Wilt, Baylor, Kobe, Jordan have scored that many multiple times. I don't know if Steph can do it again, but they seem on the right track now at Golden State again. Wizards beat the Nets. You were so excited. Did it make sense to you?
Yeah, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant missed open shots in the last 5 seconds. Good. Last one, the Sixers lead the East at 5-1. Will they beat the Hornets tonight?
Doc Rivers has got his guys and pointing in the right direction. Yes, they beat the Hornets tonight, Tony.
Out of time, trying to do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads.
Get ready for another weekend packed full of Gallagher Premiership action. It begins Friday from Bath as they host Wasps before a couple of grudge matches on Saturday with Exeter against Bristol and Northampton versus Leicester.
Tax Guards, we help you do your taxes. Take Sarah here. She's been almost doing her taxes for a while now. Sarah, that's where we can help. Tax Guard sorts your self-assessment for you. Just go online, fill in your income, answer a few questions, and a qualified accountant will do your taxes. All for just £119 all in. Head to taxguards.com now and get your taxes sorted.
Right now, it's more vital than ever that we keep in touch. So at Lebara, we're offering a great value SIM-only deal. 1,000 texts and 1,000 minutes to the UK. 100 extra minutes to 40 other countries, plus 2 gigs of data. All for just £5. No contract. You can change at any time. Not that you'd want to. Buy now at lebara.co.uk. Lebara. Stay connected.
Ah, another rainy day. Perfect. Because you've got shoes made from wool. Yeah, that's right. You're wearing Allbirds Wool Runner-Up Mizzles. Weather-repellent shoes made with soft and cozy merino wool. Designed to keep your feet warm and dry, no matter what the forecast throws your way. So now you've got shoes to wear in the rain, while you talk about the rain. Discover the Allbirds Wool Runner-Up Mizzle. Shoes made from wool, designed for the rain.
Spending more time online? Things slowing down? Feel like you don't have any privacy? We have enough to worry about. Your digital life shouldn't be one of them. At Avira, our one-click security solution helps keep your digital life secure, private, and fast. And best of all, it's free. Avira Free Security. Stay home, stay connected, stay secure. Download now at avira.com.
Ah, I know what you're thinking. Another ad selling the dream of self-improvement. It looks so easy. Yeah, right. We know it's not all sunshine and six-packs, so why not choose an easier goal to accomplish, like stock investing on eToro? Simply choose a stock, set an amount, and hit trade. And because buying stocks is commission-free, you get to keep everything. Now that's something you can stick to. Join over 15 million others like you and start investing today. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app. Lovely.
This is Sports Center.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Brown. Welcome into Sports Center. The NFL playoffs are set. We'll take a look at that. Also, 2021 unleashes a flurry of news in the UFC arena and all those upcoming events. Both European football, we're all getting rolling again as we welcome in Adriano Del Monte. Hey there, Adriano. Happy New Year. First off, and Premier League is going to be off a bit until the 12th, but Chelsea going into break really in a free fall. Lost on Sunday to City, fourth of their last 6, just one win in that span. And Adriano, rumblings about Frank Lampard. What's the deal there?
That is right, Mark, and a big happy new year to you and all the viewers, of course, as well. Interesting times for Chelsea heading into the new year. Of course, so much promise around Frank Lampard and a positive start to his time at the club. A lot of money spent in the summer, we know that. But as things stand at the moment, Frank Lampard with the worst points per game return in the Abramovich era. So a lot of pressure now on Lampard. The reports are suggesting that a couple more negative results, and that could be that. So he will be very hopeful that these results do turn themselves around. And an interesting element of the season, particularly if we look in London, a lot of pressure has been on Arsenal, the team that have had their well-documented issues, but just 3 points now separate Arsenal and Chelsea. So how quickly things have turned with Arsenal finding some form of late, but plenty of pressure on Lampard in the coming weeks.
What surprised you most so far through the first half of the Premier League season?
Plenty. It's been an amazing start to the Premier League season. So much competition at the top. I guess Manchester City have been the interesting one. Outside the top 4 still, they do have a couple of games in hand on most of the contenders for the title, but we just haven't seen that same consistency under Pep Guardiola's side, Manchester City, this season. And, well, a lot of pressure on them. The race for the top 4 is very, very tight. We know that Leicester are up there once again. Manchester United, of course, really excelling despite an indifferent start to the campaign. So I'm looking for a big 2021 from Guardiola's men and a really exciting second half of the Premier League season to come.
All right, Adriano, briefly, the Carabao Cup taking center stage for a bit in England as Tottenham, third-round action as they drop in versus championship side Brentford. How do you see that one going?
Well, the Brentford team in great form and a Brentford team with aspirations of finally achieving promotion to the Premier League next season. A tough one for Tottenham, of course, a team in form, but certainly they are heavy favourites coming in. Mourinho thrilled with the draw. City and United, the other half of the draw. And Mourinho did come out and say that this quite potentially is his biggest game in charge of the club. They haven't won a trophy since 2008, a massive opportunity to make the cup final, and I'm sure we'll see a red-hot Tottenham side with that mini break in the Premier League to come put in a really strong performance and take one step towards that final.
All right, let's switch over to La Liga. Now that the calendar has flipped to 2021, Leo Messi free to negotiate a pre-contract terms with potential suitors. What's happening right now on that front?
That's right, and I'm sure this will be a story that we'll discuss quite regularly in the weeks and months to come. Essentially what it means, Mark, is that Lionel Messi is now free to discuss terms with other clubs going forward. Well, what does that next step hold for Lionel Messi? Reports are indicating that a stay at Barcelona could still be on the cards, but at this point, Manchester City and then potentially New York City FC, the sister club, could be the next few years of the wonderful Lionel Messi career.
Okay, Italy and Serie A, which has returned from winter break with a busy Sunday just passed. Juventus sitting fifth in the table, 9-season anglehold on the Scudetto, maybe in jeopardy. Can Ronaldo and Juve get back into the race?
Of course they can. They had a great start, a nice 4-1 win over Udinese. A massive match to come in a couple of days with Milan. Really exciting fixture to come for Juventus. They've got Inter later this month as well. So, look, it's a very exciting race in the Serie A as well. A number of the top clubs in some great form. Romelu Lukaku for Inter Milan scored his 50th goal in club colours in just 70 appearances. He's at the top of his game. And, well, Cristiano Ronaldo with a brace in that 4-1 win over Udinese sensationally overtook the legendary Pele's mark for total goals in an official status. So plenty of storylines to come in second half of the Serie A season, which I'm sure you know, Mark, I'm very excited for.
And down to American football, where the NFL regular season is now complete, and we have the playoffs set where 14 teams, 7 from each conference, are hoping they are now on the road to the Super Bowl. 12 teams will be in action in the opening round on this weekend. That will not include the top seeds from each conference. In the NFC, that is the Green Bay Packers, who locked up the 1 seed and its first round bye. Aaron Rodgers led the pack to victory over the Bears in Week 17 to clinch first. The veteran 2-time MVP seems ready to claim his third, leading the NFL with 48 touchdown passes and his team to a 13-3 record. Taking a look at the NFC wildcard standings, the matches will begin this weekend. Seattle taking on the Rams, Washington football team versus the Buccaneers, and the Saints and the Bears. Now, that Washington football team clinched the final berth in the NFC, winning the NFC East title. Here is Sal Paolantonio with Washington's wild ride.
The clock has hit 0, and in one of the strangest years in NFL history, the Washington football team has won the NFC East.
What a season. How this has entirely played out.
That voice you just heard belongs to Julie Donaldson, the first female broadcast booth analyst in NFL history. Hired last summer, her presence symbolizes how far the Washington football team has come in a year of unprecedented upheaval.
I mean, this one's special just because of how hard it was, how tough everything was, how it's been. You know, it's really a cool thing, to come out and get the division.
Despite countless off-the-field problems, Washington became a feel-good national story because they won the division while head coach Ron Rivera beat cancer and quarterback Alex Smith survived 17 leg surgeries to write an emotional comeback player of the year script.
I'd be lying if I was saying there weren't a lot of days that I didn't think it was going to happen. But, you just kind of keep pushing through, and I always felt like when I had my darkest moments, there was always something around the corner that happened that I just kept kind of plugging along, and all of a sudden I made a big gain.
After withering public criticism, owner Daniel Snyder finally relented and changed the team name. Front office employees exited amid charges of sexual harassment. Snyder himself tried to deflect a story that he paid $1.6 million to settle an harassment claim, saying he's the victim of what he called a coup by his own partners to take over the team.
When you talk about this organization around the league, what you hear constantly is that people know the level of dysfunction that's occurred here, basically going on a generation now. It's definitely not a secret.
And while trying to keep the team focused on football, Rivera was missing practice for treatment, taking pregame naps, and often sitting on the bench during the game to conserve energy.
And it starts with our head coach. Our head coach is going through cancer right now. He's getting treatment, he's getting chemo, and he's showing up the next day at work. He's setting the example for us.
I didn't realize just how hard sometimes it can get you, and it got me pretty good.
But Rivera could not fix his young quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, who didn't play well enough to justify his sketchy behavior off the field.
We have breaking news here on SportsCenter coming out of Washington, where the Washington football team is releasing quarterback Dwayne Haskins after a series of on-field and off-field issues.
I made the decision. I informed the owner of my decision. I want to make sure he knows. He was supportive. And it was just something that I felt we had to do. We felt that it was in the best interest of both parties going forward.
Rivera has always been known as Riverboat Ron. Now the man who took a chance on a turbulent franchise and rolled the dice on his own personal health in the middle of a global pandemic and never gave up in the face of a 2-7 start has won the NFC East on the last night of an epic NFL season.
In the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs are the 1 seed and will get the first round bye and home field throughout the playoffs. At 14-2, Patrick Mahomes and the defending Super Bowl champs appear poised to make a run at repeating, though their margin of victory has been much more modest, to say the least. Case in point, each of their last 7 wins has been less by a touchdown. And taking a look at the AFC wildcard weekend playoff matchups, the Bills and the Colts will get things going, followed by the Titans and the Ravens. And then it is the Steelers and the Browns. Should be a great postseason. Now to MMA, where UFC has been on winter break, but we're just more than a week away from the first UFC fight night. Also, UFC 257 from Dubai coming up on January 23rd. Plenty of news, though, as always. And for that, we welcome in Aaron Bronsteter. Happy New Year, Aaron. We've got a whole lot of moving parts, as always, these days when it comes to UFC. The Edwards-Chimaev fight is now off again, and the card for January 20th will feature a new main at the top of the card. Tell us about that, Magny versus Chiesa.
Yeah, Mark, this is a great fight between two really rangy fighters, guys that are very good at using their length. And Magny has really been looking good in 2020. He came back after a suspension and has looked phenomenal. And Michael Chiesa took the year off for the most part. Once the pandemic hit, he said, these training conditions aren't optimal for me. So I'm gonna take a beat and see how things play out. And now he's in the main event, January 20th. As you mentioned, Edwards-Chimaev scrapped. So that fight's going to be rescheduled. But with Chiesa and Magny, you got two guys that are just great everywhere. If it goes to the ground, both of them very dangerous with submissions. Both very good wrestlers, both great rangy strikers, very similar fighters. I think that's what makes this such an intriguing main event.
All right, that Edwards-Chimaev event, are you pretty confident that that is going to happen in the near future?
Yeah, this is the fight that they want to maintain for these two. And it makes a lot of sense because Chimaev's kind of the new hot shot in town. Everybody thinks the world of this guy. They think he can be a future champion. And then you've got Leon Edwards, who's trying to stake claim to the championship himself in the welterweight division on a big win streak. I think what they're trying to do is anoint the next challenger. Now, whether it's going to be Chimaev, who ends up really getting his way to the top of that division quickly. He's only had one welterweight fight so far. Or it's going to be Edwards, who has a great resume, who's got a win streak. I think his last loss is actually to the champion, Kamaru Usman, and he'd like to avenge that loss and become the champion, obviously. But with Chimaev, they want to see what this guy's got. So they're putting him right in the deep end against one of the top 3 guys in the division.
Okay, we've got the first UFC event of 2021 coming up next week. That's headlined by Holloway and Qatar. What does each gain from a win?
Yeah, the featherweight division is very, very crowded. And Max Holloway lost 2 in a row to the current champion, Alexander Volkanovski. And the first one, he lost the title. Second one, a lot of people thought Holloway won that fight. I'd say the majority of people thought Holloway won that fight. However, when they asked Volkanovski if he wanted to face Holloway again for a definitive 3rd win over him, he said, you know what, I'd like to face a new challenger. So now Holloway is facing Calvin Kattar, who also had a great 2020. But people believe that Calvin Kattar has the potential to be a challenger in this division. And if he is able to beat Max Holloway, there will be no question that this guy is now going to be a top 3 featherweight in the world. He has everything to gain in this particular situation, whereas Holloway kind of has everything to lose. You know, I think he's expected to beat Kattar. And if he can't beat Kattar, he's really going to take a big step back in this division.
All right, the first big pay-per-view is coming up on January 23rd from Fight Island. It'll be UFC 257. And when does that really start to feel like Conor McGregor is really back to the octagon in that Poirier-McGregor matchup?
Yeah, as you mentioned off the top, there's a bit of a winter break going on in the UFC, and that's really satiating the appetite of the UFC fan. I think everybody's excited for things to get back on schedule, but because there's 2 events before Conor, they're kind of putting the cart before the horse here, and they've got 2 events that people are kind of excited for and they want to talk about, but the big dinner is at the very end. After all the appetizers, you've got McGregor and Poirier, the rematch. And I think that once the first event starts happening, we start seeing some promos for this, some ads, and they really start hyping this thing up. We start seeing interviews with the 2 individuals. People are really going to kick in. It seems like Conor McGregor fights don't really get the momentum until fight week. Once it's fight week, you see Conor's there. You see him working out. You see him talking. That's when people start to get really hungry for the Conor McGregor fight. And I think that once that first event happens and it's fight week, starting next week, things are going to start clicking in that, hey, Conor McGregor's fighting in just about a week time, and everybody's going to be very excited to see what he can do against, I think, the best challenge he's had for some time in Dustin Poirier.
Definitely looking forward to that one. Aaron Bronstetter, thank you very much. And that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Center. Throughout the week, we'll be keeping you up on the world of football as well as the NBA rolling through NFL playoffs on the weekend. I'm Mark Brown. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
More early morning Big Bash tomorrow as the Scorchers host the Sixers.
This is Go Henry. It's a card and an app. It teaches kids how money works safely. They customize their card and start learning. It reminds them to do their chores and get paid for them. Plus, you're in control. Pay pocket money automatically, set spending limits, and choose where they can use it. You'll get notifications when they spend or save. Join over 1 million customers today and we'll give you 1 month free. Just sign up at GoHenry.com. Go Henry, making every kid good with money.
Sometimes buying a car is a necessity. If that time is now, CarGurus contactless services can help. Not only is it easy for you to find great deals, we're also partnering with dealers across the country to put your safety first. With CarGurus contactless services, you can search by private dealer appointments, at-home test drives, and contactless purchases. Find your great deal safely at CarGurus.
Hello, welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas. A bad day at the office for Liverpool, losing at St Mary's by 1-0 on Monday. Here to reflect on that match, Don Hutchison, Stevie Nicol and Craig Burley. Stevie, that's 3 games now without a win. What's going on?
I think it's pretty clear where the problems are, and it's up front. You know, the front 3 are not producing, not delivering. They're not even creating, pretty much. You know, yes, Newcastle, they made opportunities, but the Southampton game and the West Brom game, they never created anything. And so if you're not going to create, then you ain't going to score goals.
I will go to Craig in a moment, but I feel the urge to go to Don and tell him that ever since you told us that there's going to be an easy win against West Brom and Newcastle, Don, it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, I've sort of jinxed it, haven't I? I've jinxed it massively. I mean, no one would have saw that coming, though, Dan, would they? I mean, West Brom, you would have thought guaranteed points. Newcastle, terrible. But Liverpool only scored 1 goal in the 3 games since the 7-0 win against Palace. I mean, just bizarre. I mean, you can have a look at the injuries. You can go, well, you know, they've got so many injuries at the back. But going forward, you know, absolutely toothless. Mane was the only one at the 3 tonight who kept on going right till the very end. And the lack of creativity.
Is this a blip, Craig, or something to be more concerned about?
No, it's to be concerned about, because this is not just a one-off. The away form, as well as the front 3 that Stevie mentioned, has been poor. And we talked about it 5 or 6 days ago, that unless that away form changed, they're unlikely to be Premier League champions this year, because you just can't, you know, go away from home and perform like that. And the games that they have, Southampton, who are decent, you know, Fulham, Brighton, Villa, which was a big shock, amongst other games. You just can't do it. But I'm just glad. I'm just glad we've managed to track Hutchinson down. You know, it's like the famous, where are they going to drop points? Look at the next 2 games. You know, West Brom and Newcastle. Where they? I mean, it's, you know, it's just so tight this year. And I think, is this? I heard somebody say the lowest amount of points by a team leading the league at this point for almost 20 years. And that's what I said the other day. It's really concertina, this league. But they're not playing well. You know, get 2 midfielders playing centre-half. Full-backs that are getting forward, but they're not whipping the ball in with the same quality that they once were. We had Trent Alexander-Arnold giving the ball away for fun this evening, and he made a poor mistake for the goal. So it's all happening for Liverpool in the wrong sense, that when you look at Man City yesterday, and I know Stevie called it a masterclass, and listen, it was bloody close to that, because it was smooth and it was silk and it was effective, and they are defending well. When you look at the 2 sides at the moment and current form, you know, City look as if they're going to be potentially the team to beat.
Don, you were quite vocal on Twitter about Salah.
Yeah, I've not seen him in the 2 games. I've not seen him. Didn't see him in the Newcastle game. I didn't see him in the game tonight. He's drifting in and out of games. You know, ever since he come out and made those comments about Real Madrid and Barcelona, I don't know if there's anything in that. Maybe, but it looks as though his head's been turned somewhere, because, you know, at least when I watched Sadio Mane tonight, Dan, I could see a player that was really trying. Firmino was trying as well, but he didn't really have a good game. His link-up play was not as good as usual. But I was tweeting on, you know, where's Mo Salah? Is he actually playing? Obviously, I was being sarcastic, but he's not performed in a couple of games.
These 3 games we're talking about, they've had over 70% of the ball in every game. So it's not a complete and utter shambles. The fact is that Klopp now has to have a word, and a quiet word and a clever word with the front 3. You know, sometimes it's just about a little nugget that you give a player. Like a Mane, you know, why don't you say to Mane, look, you're standing in the box. You're standing with your back to goal all the time. Can you get yourself half-turned? That's half a yard in the box. And so when you're playing against teams that are defending as ruthlessly as Southampton did today in the box, then that gives you an edge. Salah's the same. You know, instead of always looking to either run in or again be standing in the box, why don't you stand a little wider, a little deeper? Because with the feet he's got, no defender wants him running at him. So it's all just little nuggets that's going to make the difference with the front 3 in particular. Because the rest of it's okay. You know, you can't be that bad if you're having 70% of the ball regardless of whether you're at home or away. So this is where Klopp needs to earn his corn by being smart and just having a little word with the front 3.
Klopp admitted after the game that Liverpool didn't deserve to win. However, he did bring up the fact, Craig, that he felt his team should have had 2 penalties, the handball and the challenge on Mane. Is he right?
Don't think so, no. Try to think back. The challenge on Mane was by Walker-Peters, where he kind of leaned into him a little bit, and then Mane then leaned back into him. There was nowhere near enough. The handball, I mean, my goodness, if we're given... I mean, the arm was down by the side, and the arm was out a little bit, but then the shot was from such close quarters that I personally don't think it was. And, you know, so he did think his team deserved to win. I mean, it's just hypocritical. But we didn't deserve to win, but we should have had 2 penalties. Well, If you think you should have had 2 penalties, then you probably deserve to win, because the chances are you would have scored. I mean, he's just going to have to look in rather than look out here. He's going to have to shake his squad up. Whether they do anything in the window remains to be seen. I'll go back to that old point, though, when the front three is not operating and when they need something different, they haven't got it off the bench. They haven't got somebody like Hutchinson at the back post, comes in, puts their head on it. Nothing wrong with that, when there's no other space and all these guys have got, these teams are putting 9-10 behind the ball, and you've got Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. I mean, Robertson turned back a few times in that second half, To go back to Stevie's point, he had Manny in the box. He tried to slip it to him a couple of times, which he did. But on 2 or 3 occasions, and he was in a position to whip it in, he turned back. They went out to Thiago, they went back to Fabinho, they went back out the other side, but with no real pace, and it just gave Southampton a chance to organise. Listen, this league is really up for grabs because, as I said, I think it was yesterday or Saturday, that Liverpool in particular are not doing what they did last year. I mean, that's just quite obvious, and that's given the rest of the runners and riders a chance.
Penalty, Stevie?
I wouldn't have given the Manny challenge with Walker-Peters. I thought exactly what Craig did. It was, both of them were just coming together, and he went down. However, I would have given the penalty, and the reason I would have given the penalty is because, in my opinion, Stevens is 5 yards away from the shot, and he's turning his body round. I think his arm is slightly away from his body. It hits him right in the hand. It's gone towards goal. So for that reason, I would actually have given it.
Don, you feel that the Premier League in general have somewhat diluted the handball restrictions. I think at the start of the season that would have been given. Was it right not to be given this time, do you feel?
Yeah, 100%. I disagree with Stevie. I thought Jack Stevens had his hands sort of quite low, even though the shot was taken from a little bit of distance. It wasn't a penalty. I didn't think the Pogba one was a penalty the other day, and I didn't think Sadio Mane's was a penalty neither. Both identical sort of scenarios, if you like, both players getting clipped or clipping each other or clipping the defenders. And I think the referee made the right call tonight on both occasions. And I didn't think Pogba's was a penalty when he caught the back of Douglas Luiz's calf. So, yeah, I think what we're asking for, and I think what social media is saying tonight, well, any chance of consistency. But for me, I think the referee, Andre Mariner, made the right calls tonight.
That's interesting because, Stevie, you were on after the Paul Pogba penalty was awarded and you felt that it was. What was the difference between that challenge and the one we saw tonight?
Well, the difference is that both parties are going towards each other. The difference with Pogba's got nothing to do with Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz is behind Pogba. So if there's going to be any contact, then it's going to come from Douglas Luiz. That's the biggest difference. Walker-Peters and Mane have gone shoulder to shoulder pretty much. They're both gesturing towards each other, whereas Pogba's ahead of Douglas Luiz. And so, as I said the other day, the onus is on the defender not to get tangled up with the opponent, particularly if he's behind them.
Liverpool fans will be apoplectic, I suppose, in some way that they're seeing, rightly or wrongly, all these penalties at Old Trafford are for Man United. They've had an immense amount of penalties this year, and they're going to feel hard done by. I don't have the answers to that because I'm obviously not a referee or in the VARs. I don't know why that is, but let's not paper over the fact that that's not where they are. Where they are, the top of the league at the moment. But that's not why the league is so tight. That's not why they're all of a sudden beatable. That's not why they've lacked the intensity and the pace about the game. And in many ways, the awe that they carried last year whenever they pitched up home and away, you were trembling because it could have been game over within 20 minutes. That has gone for the time being now. Is it because they won the league at such a canter last year that they've been brilliant for a couple of years and the foot's off the gas a little bit, as Don mentioned, one or two heads maybe turned? Wijnaldum's contract is up in the summer. Salah's talked about a move. Or is it the squad? Is it the COVID pandemic and the Van Dijk injury and other injuries? So what is it? We really don't know. But what we do know is, for the time being, the fear factor is gone.
When Liverpool was so good, they were settled. It was a settled side. The side picked itself. He didn't really need to make that many changes at any particular stage. And of course, right now, we're just looking at a completely different scenario, where you've got two of your three centre midfielders today playing at centre-back. You've got two of your three centre midfielders today in Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain that have hardly kicked a ball, but yet they've still got more than 70% of the ball. So, you know, it's the biggest problem is they haven't had a settled side. It's changed so much at the back and in the middle. But again, if the front three can sort themselves out, they can still win the Premier League.
Yeah, that's the counter-argument, I suppose, Stevie, is the fact that despite all the problems they've had at the back, and as you mentioned, midfielders having to go into defence, that front three that has been so pivotal to their success over the last couple of seasons is nowhere near where it should be in the quality to get them across the line this time round, isn't it?
No, exactly, and as Craig said earlier, they don't really have any choices. You know, with Jota injured, you know, you can't not play them. And as I said, if you can't give them a little nugget to grasp onto, then they're going to have to play through it. And Klopp's going to have to hope that it's not going to take too long to play through it, otherwise they're going to find themselves behind in the title race.
Everybody else has had injuries as well. I mean, you look at Southampton today, there was 4 of them key players out. Certainly 3 of the 4. Redmond was out, Romeo was out, who's been a big player for them. Vestergaard was out, and Che Adams was out. So, you know, we had, and you know, it's all relative really to squad size and quality. So they had players out. We've seen City perform with a COVID hit squad and have had no Aguero for the bulk of the season. We've seen Man United having to make changes. Okay, but I think Bruno Fernandes has been a constant and been a big player for them. But I think everybody's had to deal with it. I just think Liverpool have lost a step, and you know, everybody's having to figure out their squads and their injuries and all the problems that go with it. And Liverpool are just another team that's going to have to do that. But if I was Man City, I'd be licking my chops. I know United are in there. I know there's a few other teams in there. But if I was Man City, not just off the back of yesterday, but the fact that they're defending better, the fact that Aguero's still to come back, the fact that De Bruyne got his first goal from open play yesterday suggests that the best is yet to come from them. It's going to be tight, but if I was Man City, I would be licking my chops at the chance of being Premier League champions again.
We'll talk about City in a moment, but let me just remind you that Extra Time, as always, available on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out.
I know you like the look of the team that Pellegrini's gone with. There should only be one outcome.
Got 2 strong centre forwards today. There's only going to be one winner.
It's happening! Many of us struggle to feel confident when it comes to decisions about our finances. At ClearScore, we help you understand your credit report, improve your score, and find credit card and loan offers that are personalised to you. We lay out your options in one place, including exclusive offers from Capital One and Lendable. You could even be pre-approved, so you stay in control. Join 9 million people using ClearScore. Download the free app today. ClearScore, making credit work for you.
Like a drum, don't you give it all up. Gonna want some. Hey, better do something fast. Cause this time could be your last time. You better do something now.
3 pots, 20 minutes, 1 incredible meal. Claim your £3 trial box now. 3, 2, 1, Simply Cook.
You came to slay this Peloton. Get a little savage with it.
Thrusters till the beat drops. You got this.
Yes to you, Claire from Brighton.
Core tight, Peloton.
Say it with me, I crushed that.
At home motivation, anytime you want it.
Simon and Joe both invest in stocks. Simon uses eToro to invest in stocks without paying commission. Joe has to pay his bank a commission every time he buys or sells a stock. Simon gets investment ideas from top traders on eToro's newsfeed. Joe gets investment ideas from Cousin Harvey. Laserdiscs. So why is Joe just as good an investor as Simon? He's not, because Simon uses eToro and Joe doesn't. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app today.
Meet Mildred. She's one fully reclined feline. She's an itch pet. That's right, her owner uses itch flea treatment, which helps her to stay flea-free all summer long. But now winter's here, she's going to be taking that chilled-out vibe indoors. She doesn't need flea treatment, right? Wrong. Fleas love the indoors. They will literally jump at the chance to nest in your warm, cozy home. So it's just as important to keep your pets flea-free in winter. So long, suckers. Subscribe at itchpet.com to get monthly flea treatment delivered to your door all year long, baby.
At Tax Guards, we help you do your taxes. Take Sarah here. She's been almost doing her taxes for a while now. Sarah, that's where we can help. Tax Guard sorts your self-assessment for you. Just go online, fill in your income, answer a few questions, and a qualified accountant will do your taxes. All for just £119 all in. Head to taxguards.com now and get your taxes sorted.
Milo?
The big talking point from the Premier League this weekend surely had to be Manchester City's 3-1 victory against Chelsea. Craig, it's the first time we've had the chance to talk to you about this game. Where do you want to start, City or Chelsea?
No, I'd start with City because they were magnificent. You know, when you think about the 5 COVID absentees, you think about Aguero still chasing his fitness. They had no natural striker. They had Zach Steffen, the US keeper, making his Premier League debut. And they completely pulverised Chelsea, completely in that first half. And yeah, it finished 3-1 and they gave away a sloppy goal at the end, and you saw how frustrated they were. But, you know, the game was dead and buried when they went in for the cup of tea at half-time. The job was already done. So it was, I thought, mesmerising play. I thought the way De Bruyne and Sterling and Foden floated about in particular, just Chelsea couldn't handle it. So it was, you know, I thought it was the best 45 in the Premier League I'd seen this season. Some might say Villa, Liverpool. Some might say Spurs at Old Trafford. But I just thought control. That City performance was a marker, a real marker put down. And when you think about potentially Aguero coming back in for the second half of the season, rested, if his body holds up, they're going to be a tough nut to crack. On the other side of the coin, for Mikel Arteta, read Frank Lampard, because he's got Fulham, he's got an FA Cup game at Morecambe, but he's got Fulham, Leicester and Wolves. Now, we talked about Arteta with 3 games, which he went on to win, and I think we've got to put Lampard in that category, because as tough as it is, it's a results business. And as we sit here now, they're in 9th. They're not playing well. They've just been pummeled again. And he's searching for answers. Now, there's some people out there saying, well, they're only 7 points off the top, which is right. And he's got time to turn it around. But he's going to have to turn it around, because the owner doesn't suffer results like this. And from what we hear, they're already having discussions behind the scenes about a potential successor. So they're putting those building blocks in play already, which is never a good sign, in case Lampard can't turn it around. I mean, it's as simple as that. He's got January or thereabouts to get results. Otherwise, he could be gone.
Don, has he got what it takes? Have we seen enough from Frank Lampard to suggest that, yes, he can turn this ship around?
Well, I think he has to be given time, Dan. I mean, there is mitigating circumstances when you look at the lack of form from Timo Werner and how sort of awful Kai Havertz has been, but COVID is...
Isn't that his job, though, Frank? Isn't that the coach's job, to get your players performing?
No, absolutely right. I mean, listen, when Frank picked his side against Man City, I thought it was bold playing Timo Werner. I looked at the other 10, and I would have picked exactly the same 10. I wouldn't have picked Timo Werner. I would have played Giroud or Tammy Abraham. But he's obviously trying to play Timo Werner from bad form into good form. But the other 10, I would have went exactly the same. He's in a bad run of form, and Craig's hit the nail on the head. You know, we talk about these young managers. We talk about Frank just because he manages a club like Chelsea. We talk like Arteta's managing a club like Arsenal, and Ollie because he's managing a club like Man United, that they're going to compete with the likes of Guardiola, Klopp, Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti. These guys have been steeped in the game for 20 plus years. The new guys on the block are trying to get to that level at gigantic football clubs. And I just think it told us really where Chelsea were compared to Man City. Man City were brilliant on the day. And honestly, the first half could have been ridiculously messy. You know, Man City could have been 6-0 up. I thought they were truly back. I thought they were back in the Newcastle game, the game before. But I couldn't really judge them because it was Newcastle and they were poor. But this Man City side, the way he didn't play two holding midfield players, and I understand why he did over the last few months, because he wanted that sort of insurance at the back. And he went away and he just played Gundogan, he played Bernardo Silva, and he played Rodri. And they were so much better when they were going forward, having an extra body in midfield who could drive on.
Did you write them off earlier on in the season, Don?
It doesn't matter. One second. It doesn't matter whether Klopp's got 20 years or Guardiola's got X amount or whatever, because at the end of the day, he's been tasked with managing this club, and if he doesn't go to his board and say, Don, there's mitigating circumstances here. The millions that we have spent on these players that were playing very well in their own countries, they're not playing well. Well, I want results.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what Abramovich will say. I don't spend
2
to 3 million to be in 9th place.
I get that, Craig, sorry. I get that, and Frank is obviously not going to say that, but that's the perspective I can give when I see young managers trying to forge their way into Premier League and trying to compete with some of the gigantic managers. You know, that can't be easy. Yeah. Now, Frank's an intelligent guy. He's under pressure.
Chelsea's not a stepping stone for young managers. It should, Arsenal should not be a stepping stone for young managers. And as harsh as this is, if he doesn't get results, he's going to be out. Now, listen, and a perfect, like all these guys to be given time. But you show me a manager that's never been sacked in his career. There's not many. And listen, Abramovich cannot afford to be outside the top 4. Now, there is time to turn this around. There is no doubt about it. But what there is a huge doubt off the back of one season at Derby County and one season without a transfer budget that Lampard is going to be given time to turn this ship around. So Chelsea's not some little play ship for a young manager to come in and try and gain experience. Abramovich needs results. And he's ruthless, Don. He's ruthless. And if they're already looking at alternatives, that's already telling you that they have a doubt long-term that Frank Lampard is going to be able to turn this around.
But do we not talk Mikel Arteta anymore then? Because 3 weeks ago we were saying Arteta's under massive pressure and he could be gone. And all of a sudden, 3 wins on the spin, he's 6 points away from the top 4. So fast forward a week's time, if Chelsea beat Fulham, they could be back in the top 4. So we can't just keep chucking it back and forth. Frank should be sacked. Frank needs to be given time. Arteta should be sacked. He needs to be given time. He needs to be given a season.
The problem Frank has is that his owner is Abramovich. Abramovich couldn't care less whether the fans liked, disliked, or whatever the thoughts were on the manager, if he's getting unless he's getting results. He doesn't care. He's sitting with trillions and millions of money. You think he cares whether, it's not fair on Frank, he hasn't been given time. He's only interested in what the results are, and if the results are going against whoever the manager is too often, then guess what? They're out the door. So unfortunately for Frank, that's the scenario. Personally, I would give him more time, but it's Abramovich, and so he could pull the plug anytime.
I'm not suggesting Lampard should be sacked, but I mean, if you talk to me in 3 weeks' time, and he's lost the next 3 Premier League games, then he's going to have to go, right? Because that's the scenario that we're in. That is the business that we're in, whether we want to give all these guys a chance or not. So I'm clearly saying it's up to him to turn it around. It's up to him to get in his players' heads. It's up to him to pick the right team. He's got every chance because, I mean, Fulham, they should be beaten, although they have improved. Leicester's going to be a tough one, and Wolves have had a topsy-turvy season with a squad that's a little thinner and a lot thinner than last year. So he has the opportunity, and Mikel Arteta, short-term, gave himself some breathing space by getting results, and that's what Lampard has to do. He's got to buy himself enough time to convince the manager that he's got enough to take this team forward. If he doesn't, he's out.
Thank you very much, Craig. Be sure to listen to the latest edition of the Gab and Jules podcast. Some more on that game between Chelsea and Manchester City. Mark Ogden joins them as well. The games just keep coming, don't they, in England? A couple of big matches in the Carabao Cup. We're at the semi-final stages. Spurs taking on Brentford on Tuesday. Jose Mourinho describing this as the biggest match of his tenure so far at Spurs, of course, desperate to get them some silverware. And then what about on Wednesday? Manchester United against Manchester City, a huge game for the city of Manchester. Meanwhile, in Italy, full programme matches on Wednesday, everyone playing, but it has to be the game at the end of the day that certainly is the one that catches the eye. AC Milan taking on Juventus. What a match that should be. A huge test for Milan's credentials, and you feel if Juventus lose that match, you could be quite comfortable in getting close to writing them off from defending their title. Well, we'll be looking ahead to that game on the next edition of the show, plus reflecting on that Spurs game against Brentford, and also looking ahead to that Manchester derby. Be sure to check out Extra Time over on our YouTube channel. You've got Stevie and Don answering your questions there. But that's it. That brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you very much to everyone who has been with us. Be sure to join us tomorrow, of course. We'll be reflecting on Spurs against Brentford, plus looking ahead to Manchester City against Manchester United and Juventus against AC Milan.
The battle continues tomorrow night as Australia and India face off in the third Test match.
Ah, I know what you're thinking. Another ad selling the dream of self-improvement. It looks so easy. Yeah, right. We know it's not all sunshine and six-packs, so why not choose an easier goal to accomplish, like stock investing on eToro. Simply choose a stock, set an amount, and hit trade. And because buying stocks is commission-free, you get to keep everything. Now that's something you can stick to. Join over 15 million others like you and start investing today. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app. Lovely.
Hey golfers, play it safe with Golf Now. For contact-free prepaid tee times, pick the #1 place to book rounds in seconds. With over 1,700 courses to choose from, it's fast, easy and safe. Plan your next round worry-free. With Golf Now, go play.
We invented a new way to win. With sugarcane, merino wool, and eucalyptus tree. Natural materials that give our shoes the strength and the speed to compete. Because when nature wins, we all win. Introducing the Dasher by Allbirds.
This is Go Henry. It's a card and an app. It teaches kids how money works safely. They customize their card and start learning. It reminds them to do their chores and get paid for them. Plus, you're in control. Pay pocket money automatically, set spending limits, and choose where they can use it. You'll get notifications when they spend or save. Join over 1 million customers today and we'll give you 1 month free. Just sign up at GoHenry.com. Go Henry, making every kid good with money.
Welcome to the Verbo Citrus Bowl, a part of Capital One Bowl Mania on a gorgeous New Year's Day in Orlando, Florida. Our matchup, the Auburn Tigers against the Wildcats, number 14 ranked team from Northwestern. Hi, everybody, and Happy New Year. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Paul Carcaterra is with us as well. What a great day. Best day of the year in college football. We got playoff games still to come. We're in the Florida sunshine, and we got a traditional matchup, Rod, of the SEC against the Big Ten.
Yeah, New Year's Day, big game, and, you know, the narrative never seems to change. It's the SEC speed against the power of the Big Ten, and lately it's been the Big Ten kind of falling to the SEC 11-4 in bowl games, SEC ahead.
Players, coaches, they pay attention to that stuff. They've all been talking about that conference matchup leading into this game. It's been a tumultuous year for everybody in college football, and I think everyone is happy to turn the page to 2021, particularly for the Auburn Tigers. Big expectations, as is always the case on the Plains. This was a team ranked as high as number 7 in the country, not ranked coming into this Citrus Bowl game. Ugly losses to both Alabama and Georgia in the same year for the 5th time in the last 7 years. Part of the reason why, a change that surprised a lot of people. Gus Malzahn fired, Brian Harsin hired. Brian is here. We're going to have him join our telecast during the Citrus Bowl here today. One of the tasks for the new Auburn head coach, Rod, is going to be to get more consistent play out of their very talented young quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good graphic there that shows you in their losses, he's not as good as in their wins. Same thing home and road. Now, he is a playmaker. He makes big plays for them, but he's not been consistent from the pocket. That's an issue for him to deal with. And, you know, for him, this is his chance to make a first impression on his new head coach, who's a guy who knows a thing about teaching and coaching quarterbacks. He's done it at Boise State for a long time.
You know, meanwhile, for Northwestern, last year 3-9, Pat Fitzgerald at the end of that year said, this will not happen again. And the head coach, who's been a part of this program for so long, was not lying. They totally turned things around this season with a mix of veteran, tough, older players and, Rod, an infusion of a lot of good young talent.
Yeah, talent that can make some crazy plays. Look at this sick offensive pick. This interception by Brandon Joseph in the end zone. You don't think athleticism with Northwestern defense? Well, think again. This play and 5 other picks during the season made him a first-team All-American as a freshman, and he can flat out play.
So you got the motivation of the conference matchup. You got a trophy on the line, a New Year's Day bowl game, plus big-time extra motivating factor for Northwestern. For more on that, let's say hi to Paul Carcaterra.
Hello, Dave. When you think of Northwestern football, obviously you think of Pat Fitzgerald, but another central piece to their success has been defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz, who's been with Fitzgerald since 2008. Hankwitz has coached in college football for 51 years, and today he'll hang up the whistle and begin his retirement. When you talk to players, co-workers, and opposing coaches, they all love Mike. Fitzgerald told me he pushes his players to be the best. He believes in them, dials up schemes, and teaches technique with the best of them. He's been part of 399 wins in his career. 400 would be special for an outstanding football coach and a better man.
It is a huge factor in this game for Northwestern. They don't need 400. For the Wildcats, lots of experienced players who will say that about today in this Citrus Bowl. First down, Northwestern.
You know, back to Peyton Ramsey, it's sort of fascinating. This is a guy who initially out of high school wanted to go to Northwestern, but wasn't offered. He didn't get a scholarship.
Wildcat, which is the perfect game for Northwestern. Big hit on the defense from Zakoby McClain, who's had a terrific year as a junior for Auburn.
Yeah, I think we might call his name a few times. Look at him. Steps right into the gap. Great form tackle. Has 102 tackles on the season. He is the focal point of that defense.
You know, KJ Britt got hurt against Georgia, has not played since, said his goodbye to the Auburn program in the lead up to this bowl game. An open receiver, but a stumble. The pass was not exactly perfect. So just a short gain to set up third down to Evan Hull.
Yeah, this is the kind of situation Northwestern wanted to avoid, a third down and long. This is when Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator and interim head coach, likes to dial up the pressure. This is when his big guys on the edge will really try and use their speed and come after the quarterback.
Well, they sure look like they're going to bring some pressure here on third down. Ramsey has a little time and throws to an open target. That's a Northwestern first down, and Riley Lees breaks one tackle. Couldn't quite break a second, but a nice conversion for the Wildcats.
That was really all about the protection. You know, the pressure was coming. You see Ramsey has time to step up and deliver a nice throw. Tennyson on the tackle, but really the offensive line did the job there.
And I think it's been a strength of this Northwestern team, that offensive line. Hand off, straight ahead run, and a power run from Cam Porter. Tough kid, just a true freshman, but he's going to be a really good one for Northwestern.
Look, he's taken over the job at running back for them, and he will have to carry the ball an awful lot. You know, since he's really, you know, exploded on the scene. A couple of guys that left the program, hit the transfer portal, so he may have to tote the rock 20, 25 times today.
Play fake for Ramsey on second down. And he's going deep and caught in stride for a Northwestern touchdown. A guy who's emerged as a big-time playmaker, Ramon Jalkio Bowman with the touchdown on Northwestern's opening drive, 35 yards.
Beautiful route. Jalkio Bowman coming from the right side to the left side, and we should mention that in the Auburn secondary, Roger McCreary, their fine corner, is not playing today, so you've got a different rotation for Auburn on the back end over there, and boy, did Jalkio Bowman using his advantage to get open.
That could hardly have gone better for Northwestern. Their first drive of this 2021 Verbo Citrus Bowl ends up in the end zone. 35 yards from Peyton Ramsey to a guy who has turned into a playmaker for the Wildcats, Ramon Jalkio Bowman. Northwestern touchdown. A really incredible views. We've been coming here to Orlando for this Citrus Bowl for a long time. How this neighborhood has changed in the last decade is remarkable. And not just, I mean, the parks are beautiful, the courts, the outdoor rec facilities that the Florida Citrus Sports Group has built, but they've built healthcare facilities, early childhood development facilities, housing. A new Boys and Girls Club is opening up in the neighborhood this month. These people deserve a lot of credit. $100 million in the last, decade pumped into this neighborhood around this Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, teams are excited to get here for New Year's Day, and Northwestern came down early, you know, just to get out of the cold and be here and enjoy. There's so much going on here.
It was a different approach, that's for sure, in the way these two teams came into this game. False start as Auburn gets the ball back.
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It is a part of the story of this game. Auburn players missing out of this game, and some really good ones. Anthony Schwartz, the very fast star wide receiver, he's the only one who really is an opt-out, and you know, we don't know exactly. You assume COVID related when they say medical, but Tank Bigsby is a huge loss for Auburn. SEC Freshman of the Year, had a terrific year, first down run for a gain of 3.
When you combine Schwartz on the outside and Tank Bigsby in the backfield, you're taking a lot away from this offense. I mean, Schwartz was not only the deep threat, he was the guy on those quick receiver screen passes that could get you a lot. So, you know, in a sense, Nix is kind of operating with this couple of arms behind his back.
Nix gets pressured now on the move, makes a great move. I mean, he is very elusive, but couldn't get away from a second Northwestern tackler. Blake Gallagher came in and made the play. Play, it's third down.
Yeah, there's more on Nix's shoulders today because he doesn't have Grigsby or Schwartz. And once he's outside the pocket, he's a dynamic runner. He can make a guy miss. But you'd like to see him get down and not take too many hits because they're going to need him to make plays today.
There were times this year when Auburn's offense was Bo Nix scrambling, and that was about it.
Yeah.
There's other stuff. I mean, there are skill players. There are weapons on this offensive side of the ball. The pass game just was not always there.
That guy down there, Seth Williams, 18.
The all-time Auburn greats, really. Nix throws short. Northwestern had that beautifully defended. They knew exactly where the first down mark was, and they stop Auburn several yards short. Eli Stove with the catch.
You know, Flynn, we talk about bowl season and who's motivated, and that often gives you a clue about which way a game is going to go. There was no question when we got down here that Northwestern was dialed in, part for Hankowitz, part for finishing the season the right way. But the first part of this game, you get that feeling that Northwestern is totally dialed in.
It's hard to blame Auburn. Look, they had a coaching change leading up to this bowl game. Things were chaotic around the football building for sure. But they sent the players home for Christmas, came back for just one regular week, and arrived here in Orlando last night. They didn't do anything. This was just a normal game for Auburn. It's a Citrus Bowl game for Northwestern, and they got the 7-0 lead.
It's just incredible. Just got a whole lot more energy. Everyone wants to be involved. Absolutely magnificent. Oh, yes! That is just superb!
Got pet insurance? Waggle. Pet insurance that doesn't suck. Visit waggle.co.uk.
Sometimes buying a car is a necessity. If that time is now, CarGurus contactless services can help. Not only is it easy for you to find great deals, we're also partnering with dealers across the country to put your safety first. With CarGurus contactless services, you can search by private dealer appointments, at-home test drives, and contactless purchases. Find your great deal safely at CarGurus.
At Tax Cards, we help you do your taxes. Take Sarah here. She's been almost doing her taxes for a while now. Sarah, that's where we can help. Tax Cards sorts your self-assessment for you. Just go online, fill in your income, answer a few questions, and a qualified accountant will do your taxes. All for just £119 all in. Head to taxcards.com now and get your taxes sorted.
Milo? They say time waits for no man. So why do us guys still put things off, even when they're easy to deal with? By age 35, it's common for men to experience hair loss. At Sons, we could help you stop the clock. We deliver clinically tested hair loss treatments direct to your door. All you need to do is take our free online consultation and we'll tailor a treatment plan to your needs. Get your first month for just £17 with no contract at sons.co.uk.
Spending more time online? Things slowing down? Feel like you don't have any privacy? We have enough to worry about. Your digital life shouldn't be one of them. At Avira, Our one-click security solution helps keep your digital life secure, private, and fast. And best of all, it's free. Avira Free Security. Stay home, stay connected, stay secure. Download now at avira.com.
Right now, it's more vital than ever that we keep in touch. So at Lebara, we're offering a great value SIM-only deal. 1,000 texts and 1,000 minutes to the UK. 100 extra minutes to 40 other countries, plus 2 gigs of data. All for just £5. No contract. You can change at any time. Not that you'd want to. Buy now at lebara.co.uk. Lebara. Stay connected.
Wherever there's rugby, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Ramad Jackie Bowman, well, he's a Renaissance man. He started rapping when he was 6, when his father, Scott, introduced him to Wu-Tang Clan. His mother, Fett, exposed him to Thai music, and he later started playing the drums in a jazz band. Sick musician. He's also the team's barber, and the guy, let me tell you, gives a legit fade. Wide receiver Riley Lee's got his money worth recently. Hopefully we could see Riley with his helmet off. And gentlemen, I've been cutting hair since I'm in 5th grade. I know a good barber when I see one. Jackie Bowman's one.
You checked out Paul's fade?
He got tightened up, I think, for New Year's Day. Ramad is a remarkable young man. He's already made some big plays for Northwestern in this first quarter. Tough first down run. Not for much yardage for the Wildcats as they get the ball for the 3rd time. Well, he is a team leader, that's for sure. We talked about his role in setting the protocols for player safety in the Big Ten Conference. His leadership role with young players on offense, helping keep. I mean, Northwestern did not have a single positive COVID test this year.
Crazy.
They had some contact tracing stuff. They had a game wiped out when Minnesota had COVID problems, and there's our man.
Well, it makes your players happy about it. You get excited about that.
Ramsey throws on the move. In stride inside the 20, tripped up around the 15-yard line, but another game that I think gets enough for a Northwestern first down.
You know, the deal for Auburn right now is to not get overwhelmed by this start. You know, they haven't done anything on offense. Northwestern's having their way with them, with their offense, but you just can't give in to that right now.
Ray Nero with that catch. Now a little dump down to Porter, who's got it inside the 10 and is spun down at around the 6. It's going to be 1st and goal Northwestern. They actually did not give a first down on that previous play, so now Northwestern gets the first down. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah, Cam Porter out of the backfield and down here in this area. You will see a little quarterback run, a little wildcat. That gives you the extra blocker since you have someone involved and the quarterback isn't slipping away. You got him with the ball now. Here's Porter.
Ready to take the direct snap. He does. Goes straight ahead, right into a wall. Nothing there.
Again, if you're Auburn, you know you got to hang in there and then get through this and say, hey, you know what? Bad start for us. Let's turn it up a notch.
It's amazing. Colby Wooden and company up front. Auburn's got some very talented players up front on defense. They already look a little beat up by this Northwestern offensive line.
Well, they are missing some guys up front.
And not as deep as they usually are. Rain, the tight end in motion. Ramsey on the move with a block. Rain with the catch. And he reaches for the pylon. Touchdown, Northwestern.
That is John Rain, the tight end, who just slipped out, got to the edge. Ramsey finds him, and you see coming over late to the play, again, trying to get Smoke Monday from the inside out to that part of the field. Tough job for Auburn and Northwestern, all in control right now.
Grad transfer from FAU back in the state of Florida. John Rain's been a big part of this Northwestern team in 2020. It's his second touchdown of the season. Extra point coming.
How about Ramsey's start?
A great start for Peyton Ramsey.
Well, if your name Peyton.
And he was named after the Peyton. Extra point up and good. In a lot of ways, Rod, it was set up by Pat Fitzgerald, willing to go for it near midfield on 4th and 8.
Yeah, and look at again the protection. Ramsey has had plenty of time all day, and that window open in the zone behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. And you come right back, slipping your tight end Rain out to the flat. And Ramsey's on target. I mean, he's having a heck of a start to this game.
Well, if you like to play the game of Big Ten SEC power versus speed, right now it's been power football in this first quarter. Sometimes maybe those stereotypes get played up a little too much in this game. In this game, I think they fit.
I think, you know, motivation overrides the narrative, the stereotypes about speed versus power. You know, right now we're seeing Northwestern do some things athletically, you know, that speedy teams do. I mean, Jocko Bowman has been cleaning them out. Jalkio Bowman.
Wildcats will kick it deep. 14-0 Northwestern. That's going to be another touchback in the end zone. All right, Auburn's offense got to get it revved up. They have not been impressive so far. Missing Tank Bigsby. Handoff, left side run, and that's a positive first down play for an Auburn team playing for a guy who's been around this Auburn program for several years now. The interim head coach for this Citrus Bowl game, Kevin Steele, after Gus Malzahn was let go immediately after the final regular season game. 2nd and 5, and Nix, nice delivery on the move for a big gain. The best play of the day for Auburn, out to midfield.
Elijah Canyon, number 17 from the slot, makes that catch. Little run pass option there, something that Northwestern was concerned about because their linebackers are so focused on the run, they come up.
Wide open. The receiver running down the middle of the field, but Bo Nix had already started to scramble off to the left, and he gets into Northwestern territory inside the 45.
Auburn needs to get Seth Williams involved in the game. He's a premier receiver, and he has not even been targeted as far as I can tell.
Northwestern's playing without its best cover corner, Greg Newsome, who got hurt in the Big Ten championship game and maybe could have played. His head coach said no. He's going to be a high NFL draft pick, and Pat Fitzgerald said, you're not healthy. You're not going to play in this bowl game. Nix checks down the open field tackle. It is a first down gain, though, for Auburn. Our impact players are brought to you by Lexus, and one of the guys you been talking about number 18, Seth Williams for Auburn.
Yeah, 2,000 receiving yards career. You throw it up to him, and he will jump up there and get it. And then Fisher for Northwestern, man, Big Ten linebacker of the year.
Nobody in college football has more tackles in his career than Patty Fisher. That pass incomplete, and that play was blown up right from the start. Northwestern wanted an offensive pass interference. There is a penalty flag thrown.
Offensive pass interference, number 17. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Hey, the lobbying worked.
Yeah, you don't get that called very often. Bottoms of the screen, you'll see right there, 17. He's got his hands on the defender while the ball's in the air, preventing him from trying to make the pick.
That's a tough penalty. That's 15 yards, pushes Auburn back into their own territory with 1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter from Orlando. Northwestern with a 2-touchdown lead. And off shot. Ivers just swallowed up.
You know, when Williams isn't on the field, he's not out there now. You think about what Auburn has lost on offense. No Williams out there, no Schwartz, no Tank. So you're asking Bo Nix to really carry the burden and make plays with his feet. He's working with new receivers. You know, Eli Stone, when he's out there, is a veteran. He's working, but by and large, new receivers for him in this game.
And it's not like Auburn doesn't have talent, but a lot of players who have not been in prominent positions this year out there on the field for this bowl game. That pass was high, incomplete. He had a tight end, Brandon Frazier, in the flat. It's 3rd and 24.
Yeah, you know, it can throw the timing off just a little bit, and that's enough to be the difference between a completion and incomplete pass. Now you're looking at what could be a difficult situation. You don't want a turnover. You don't want to force something. So I would expect them to be a little bit more conservative on this 3rd down.
They have to get all the way down to the Northwestern 29-yard line. Nix just shuffling around in the pocket. Pass complete, and the turn upfield. A tackle short, but still a big enough game where I would think Auburn's going to go for it on 4th down.
I would think so. Kobe Hudson comes up with that catch. A little bit of, you know, run after the catch and put them in position for a 4th and about 5. Yeah, you got to go for it here.
Kobe Hudson, not the biggest target, but he's going to be a good one for Auburn. Here's the interim head coach, defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. Keeps the offense on the field. Why not?
Showing pressure.
4th and 5, just a 4-man rush. Nix going backwards. He'll throw across his body, incomplete. There is a penalty flag thrown. That one back toward the
for 200 years so you can master mealtimes. We are Young's Masters of Fish.
We do things a little differently here at the AA. Our cutting-edge technology means we can get you going again in around 30 minutes of arrival. And with our Tap and Track app, you can follow your AA mechanic all the way to your side. Plus, with unlimited call-outs, we'll be there when you need us. Switch to a different kind of breakdown service for just £6 a month. Call 0800 29 44 999. That's 0800 29 44 999.
Many of us struggle to feel confident when it comes to decisions about our finances. At ClearScore, we help you understand your credit report, improve your score, and find credit card and loan offers that are personalised to you. We lay out your options in one place, including exclusive deals. And with pre-approved offers, you stay in control, knowing where you stand before you even apply. Join 9 million people using ClearScore. Download the free app today. ClearScore, making credit work for you.
Discover the finest quality made-to-measure blinds, shutters and curtains at Blinds Direct. A huge selection of beautiful window dressings to suit every room. Handmade here in the UK with a 5-year guarantee for your peace of mind. Order your free samples today and choose your perfect design. Our extensive range is exclusively online, delivered direct to your door. Don't miss our 50% off sale items. Shop now and create your dream home with blindsdirect.co.uk.
At Tax Cards, we help you do your taxes. Take Sarah here. She's been almost doing her taxes for a while now. Sarah, that's where we can help. Tax Guard sorts your self-assessment for you. Just go online, fill in your income, answer a few questions, and a qualified accountant will do your taxes. All for just £119 all in. Head to taxcards.com now and get your taxes sorted.
Milo? I know you like the look of the team that Pellegrini's gone with. There should only be one outcome.
Got two strong centre forwards today. There's only going to be one winner.
It's happening!
As we start the second quarter, Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Paul Carcaterra, all Northwestern so far. 14-0. And the Wildcats have a second down and 3. As we start quarter number 2, Peyton Ramsey under center will hand it off to Cam Porter. He got stacked up after leaping over one would-be tackler. Gain of just a yard. Owen Papo, very talented, still young linebacker for Auburn.
Yeah, and he leads that linebacking crew. Really good player. This is the kind of down that can get Auburn going. A third and short, you get a stop here, get a little momentum, and that can translate to your offense.
They need something. Tigers do. Already 8 first downs for Northwestern. Ramsey, a little misdirection. He went over like he was getting a signal from the sideline. And instead, the ball got snapped directly to Porter, who got stopped. Maybe a half a yard short.
I think so. Cam Riley was not fooled by all of the stuff going on with Riley trying to get people's attention that, hey, I'm calling out signals. But Riley got the stop, and this is a risky call here for Northwestern in their own territory, up 14-0.
That's Fitzgerald, man. He does not like to punt the ball away. They got Porter, who's going to try to push it straight ahead, and he will get the first down. So in their own territory, up to 2 touchdowns. Northwestern goes for it on 4th and short and converts.
Yes, Skoronski, the left tackle, delivered a tremendous block over there. He's only a freshman, but man, is he good.
A true freshman, second team all Big Ten. Now in the backfield. What a hit. Hello. Smoke Monday.
You just got smoked.
Wow.
Gotta love the name. Gotta love this effort. Look, he's coming in on that blitz, splits 2 would-be blockers, and a great tackle. Wraps up high.
And maybe the play of the year for Auburn. His 100-plus yard interception return for a touchdown against Tennessee.
That reminds me, we were doing a little which is better. You know, his play or Brandon Joseph's pick.
Pretty good ones. 2 of the best defensive plays I would say in all of college football this year. Ramsey's going to throw across the middle. That pass is complete into Auburn territory. Bryce Kurtz, the red shirt freshman that Northwestern thinks has a chance to be a really good player with his first catch.
Nice route, and now you've got a better situation for Northwestern, a 3rd and short. And again, you know, you're in 2-down territory. Pat Fitzgerald here. He's going for this all the time.
If you already went for it on your side of the field,
yeah,
for sure now. I would think for an offensive play caller that would be that would make a difference if you know, okay, it's 3rd and 3. I got 2 plays to get those 3 yards. Ramsey's going to pitch it to Porter. Put a blocker out in front, but also a lot of Auburn defenders. No gain. Oh, and Papo.
All right, we're starting to repeat ourselves. Don't run wide against this defense. You got 2 downs to it, run at it. But that speed is going to get you every time Northwestern tries to get to the edge with a toss, with an outside run like that.
Well, that's another opportunity for this Auburn defense. 4th down. We'll still call it 4th and 3. Early 2nd quarter. Ramsey going to throw the ball, and he's got his man, but it's juggled and incomplete. Incomplete. John Rain, the tight end, came on a slant like a wide receiver and just could not haul it in, so yeah. Auburn gets the stop.
This might be the break that Auburn needs. A little bit behind Rain, and all of a sudden Auburn's got a chance. They've got some life.
Back to Orlando. Auburn's defense with a much needed 4th down stop, maybe with a little help, but Bo Nix and company back on the field, and a pitch play right side. Northwestern's run defense is tough. DJ Williams got the carry that time, close to midfield at 2nd down. Put another tackle in the ledger of number 42, Patty Fisher, who's going to go down as one of the all-time greats in the history of Northwestern football.
His last game, his next stop, the NFL.
We did ask him, I mean, it's such an unusual time for players, for coaches, for everybody in college football because of what happened this year. If you want an extra year of eligibility, you get it. At least a little uncertainty. Nix down the middle, trying to hit Williams, incomplete. But we did ask Patty Fisher, in theory, he could decide to come back and play another year. And he said, this is my last game as a Wildcat.
Well, he's done just about everything you can do in college football, you know, as a player. I mean, he's been tremendous for them. They've won 2 Big West titles in the last 3 years. Didn't want that taste of last year, 3-9. They all came back focused and had a tremendous season, and it's time for him to move on. That's the way he feels about it.
Third and 7 for Auburn with some pressure coming. Nix will start to scramble. Nix throws on the move, incomplete. Trying to hit Canyon. He was already, I think, out of bounds. It's 4th and 7.
How about a well-timed blitz by Mike Hankwitz? You know, he timed that perfectly, and he's comfortable with having Bo Nix on the move when he doesn't have a lot of field, and rushed him to the short side, and they're going to get the ball back. That 4th down turnover did not hurt Northwestern.
And unlike Northwestern, Auburn has so far not taken too many risks on 4th down. High punt. catch. These will make it at about the 13-yard line. Well, we told you there's a new man in charge at Auburn. Bryan Harsin, great record at Boise State. He can retire the ski cap, I think. We're going to talk to Bryan when we come back. Well, Bryan Harsin, one of the top coaches in the country for many years. Bryan was a young man when he started his coaching career at Boise State. He grew up around Boise, played at Boise. Arkansas State as his first head coaching job. Then just 1 year later, took over his Broncos program, did a terrific job for many years, had chances, I'm sure, to take other jobs. Auburn is the one. And just a week ago, named the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, just around the corner over there. Bryan Harsin joins us. We're safely socially distanced, but congratulations, Bryan, on being named the new head coach at Auburn. Why Auburn? Why the Tigers?
Well, first of all, Dave, Rod, I appreciate that. And I still feel like a young guy. I know by age I'm not, but I still feel that way. And simple. You know, I think Auburn, I've watched from afar, and you see the tradition, the pride, the history, the opportunities to play for championships and win them. That always stood out to me. And then as this process we went through it, just the family atmosphere and a lot of things that I believe came together, and that was an easy decision for my family and I. They were all in, and just a tremendous place. And the more I've been there, the more excited I get, just looking forward to getting there permanently.
You know, Bryan, Auburn fans are certainly passionate. They're excited. What do you want them to know about you coming in here?
Well, I said it in the press conference. You know, I want them to be proud of our football team, and I certainly want them to be proud of their head coach. But to know that the Auburn family, you know, I believe it's strong, and I believe that those that have come before me and those that have been a part of Auburn University, they're important. And that to me, that tradition and what they bring as far as just the pride to the university is important. And you know, we want to make them proud. We want to go out there and put together the best staff, players to come into Auburn University, and then to go out there and obviously make them proud when we play, but to do things coaches that we bring in here, the type of people that are going to be a part of our program. This is not a one-man show, and I know the importance of Auburn football.
Number 23.
And I also know from the conversations I've had how excited not just coaches that want to be a part of what we're doing, but future players that want to be a part of what we're doing. So to me, I think it's what my responsibility is to share that vision of why did I come to Auburn and the things that I believe about this program, and share that, and then bring in the very best that want to be a part of that want to work hard, that want to do things right, that want to come out here and play good football and championship football and do it consistently, and to share that message and to find those that are going to believe in what we're doing at Auburn. And to me, that's going to be the key to our success as we move forward, is finding those type of people that want to be a part of what we want to do.
And we did have potential turnover on that punt, but I think a penalty is going to negate that.
Team number 15. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Auburn.
So Auburn will keep the football, and we will have a timeout here from Orlando. Bryan, thanks for spending some time with us during the telecast. Congratulations, truly. We've known you for a long time. Best of luck at Auburn.
All right, thank you, War Eagle.
Bryan Harsin, the new head man for the Tigers, who get the ball back. Welcome back to the Vrbo Citrus Bowl. From Orlando, Florida, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. On New Year's Day, 14-0 Northwestern. We do appreciate Bryan Harsin being with us, the new head coach at Auburn. There is an issue. Auburn fans, Boise State's a long way from Auburn, Alabama. Yeah, maybe they don't know a lot about, Auburn fans don't know a lot about Bryan Harsin, but I do believe as they get to know him, they're going to like their new head coach, Kevin Steele, doing some coaching on the sideline as an interim head coach for this game. He was a candidate for the full-time job. He's done a good job as a defensive coordinator. Kevin's been around forever and ever, coached with everybody from Tom Osborne to Nick Saban to Bobby Bowden to Dom Capers, and I'm sure Kevin, if he's not back at Auburn, what a catch by Seth Williams into Northwestern territory. First down Auburn, and there are reports out there today. Our colleague Cole Kubelik tweeting out that he hears that it's a done deal. Kevin Steele will not be back. I think we sort of assumed that that would be the case.
Well, I think that's right, given our interactions with Kevin the last day or so.
They're going to pitch it back to Bo Nix, but everybody was covered downfield until now. A good job by the young quarterback to find an open target. His tight end John Samuel Schenker for a nice game.
Stayed alive and got the ball to him. I think it would have been really awkward as you take a look at this play again. You know, a little pitch back, a little trickeration, and Nick stays alive long enough to get the ball to his tight end. But it was going to be awkward to have Kevin Steele on that staff, given that he was a candidate and all the things that went on during the search. It was a convoluted search for a while, and I would say that they hit a home run with it coming out of it, but there were a lot of Auburn fans who were concerned as the search began and continued on that they weren't sure where it was going, but I think it certainly got saved, and they got a home run with hiring Harsin.
There is a player down, Xavion Capers, who made that catch for a first down. Very talented true freshman wide receiver. You figure he's going to be a big part of Auburn's future under Bryan Harsin, and hopefully Xavion is okay while they tend to him. We'll step aside, be right back. Well, we hope that Xavion Capers from Alpharetta, Georgia, true freshman wide receiver, made the first down catch and really was not feeling good. We hope that ultimately he's okay. First down Auburn. This is the deepest into Northwestern territory that the Tigers have been. Let's go down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Dave, it looks like a left foot injury for Capers, a promising young freshman, 6'4", speedster on the outside, and tried to walk his way to the locker room. Couldn't do it on his own with the trainer's help. The cart's out here. Give you more in a minute, and it's a big loss for them, especially when they don't have Anthony Schwartz, who's the track All-American who opted out. So Capers, along with Seth Williams, that was their shot on the outside.
Yeah, that's a good point. No Tank Bigsby for this game because of medical reasons, no specific reason given. We're thinking about Xavion, and hopefully he'll be all right. Auburn has yet to convert a third down in this Citrus Bowl. It's 3rd and 9.
Williams up top. He needs to be targeted again.
Pressure comes straight up the middle. Nix flipped it, somehow got rid of the ball, and that running back who caught it, Shivers, made one man miss, but not the rest of the Northwestern Northwestern defense. So that play loses yardage. Bo Nix did great work to get away, but it didn't amount to much.
Adebore coming in there, putting some pressure on him. You know, Hankiewicz has done a nice job of just timing his pressures and blitzes. You see also Gallagher coming in, really harassing Nix, but it's been well timed as we get a 50-yard field goal attempt here.
Well, Anders Carlson is one of the better place kickers in college football. Got a huge leg, trying to put Auburn on the board. Good snap and hold, and that kick is right on through. Beautifully booted. Man, there's that leg for Anders Carlson.
I bet his brother is proud. That's a kicking family.
I would think Daniel is watching and smiling after that. Looked like an NFL kick from young Anders, who someday would like to join his brother, I'm sure, at that level. 14-3. Auburn's on the board. Let's get an update in studio for the first time here on New Year's Day. Happy New Year to Matt Berry. Matt.
Gentlemen, how are you? Happy New Year to you. Checking in on another SEC team down in their bowl game. How about Cincinnati? First possession of the second half, Jerome Ford. 79 yards for the score, and the Bearcats making a statement. 21-10 up on Georgia over on ESPN.
Well, so the SEC is having a tough start to this New Year's Day. Look at Georgia missing a lot of players. Auburn's missing a lot of players. You always talk about that in bowl games, but good for Cincinnati. They wanted to make a statement about being not just left out, but not even really considered for the college football playoff. They're making some kind of statement.
Look, it was pretty clear what the committee was doing when Cincinnati got jumped by 2 lost Iowa State, and then they subsequently got jumped by 2 lost Florida, 2 lost Georgia. You know, Cincinnati has a right to be upset, and if they're taking it out on Georgia, good for them. They were ticked off.
Carlson kicked that one almost as hard as he kicked his field goal.
How great is New Year's Day? I mean, growing up with that. Oh.
Best day of the year in college football.
Wake up, great games all day.
One of the best days of the year on the sports calendar. Ramsey flips it short to Porter, turns it upfield. Nice little screen game to the running back, who's really been bottled up carrying the ball. Cam Porter with the catch and run for a Northwestern first down.
I think Ramsey has been on fire today. I mean, he started 6 of 6. He's been good inside the pocket, outside the pocket as well.
I mean, if you said that Northwestern was going to have 23 rushing yards almost at halftime, I think you would have not thought that they'd be in with a 14-3 lead against a team like Auburn. They have not been able to run the ball, and it hadn't mattered.
Yeah, because of him. I mean, Ramsey's done a nice job. That offensive line has kept
Under center. We'll see if they actually snap the ball or not. Another hard count. Auburn staying disciplined. Good for them.
Yeah, well, he was standing right next to the ref the whole time, and that was a pretty good hint that he was going to use the timeout.
So not this time for the Wildcats, who have been a gambling kind of team here in Orlando.
absolutely magnificent. Oh, yes! That is just superb!
I finally got round to sorting over 50s live cover with Royal London. They've got this insurance.
So after I'm gone, I can leave money for my family. It can go towards my funeral, or they can decide how they want to spend it.
If you're 50 to 80, they're guaranteed to accept you with no medical questions.
You get full cover after just 1 year. Some others make you wait too. And best of all, it's got a 5-star rating.
And I can trust them to look after my family. 2 million people in the UK do.
So for peace of mind, I'll speak to Royal London. That sounds great. I'll give them a call.
With Royal London Over 50 life insurance, your affordable monthly payments are guaranteed to never go up. They're the UK's fastest growing over 50s life insurer. Royal London have been around for over 150 years, so you can be sure they'll be here for your family. Buy Over 50 life insurance today. And if you pay £7 a month or more, you'll get a £100 welcome gift. Offer ends the 26th of February. Visit royallondon.com/gift or call 0800 500 3333.
Royal London. In CSR2, the race is always on. Discover over 200 racing cars to collect, restore and tune in a stunningly realistic world full of adrenaline. All you need is a smartphone or a tablet. Let your passion drive you with CSR2. Download now for free.
Lately, life has felt more and more like a movie plot. So many twists and turns, who knows what's going to happen next? With things this unpredictable, wouldn't it be nice at least to save a bit of money? With Direct Line's mileage money back, if you end up driving less than expected, you get money back from your premium. Solving your problems if you're driving, saving you money if you're not. So whatever happens next, we're on it. You won't find us on price comparison sites, so come direct for car insurance. We're on it. Direct Line.
Join over 500,000 Pharmacy to You patients getting their repeat prescriptions delivered the easy way for every person and every condition, supporting our patients and the NHS.
Discover the finest quality made-to-measure window dressings, exclusively online and delivered to your door. Don't miss our 50% off sale items. Shop now with blindsdirect.co.uk.
They say time waits for no man. So why do us guys still put things off, even when they're easy to deal with? By age 35, it's common for men to experience hair loss. At Sons, we could help you stop the clock. We deliver clinically tested hair loss treatments direct to your door. All you need to do is take our free online consultation and we'll tailor a treatment plan to your needs. Get your first month for just £17 with no contract at sons.co.uk.
It's so easy to get a great local tradesperson with mybuilder.com. Just post your job, big or small, and you'll get responses from local tradespeople, screened by MyBuilder and reviewed by previous customers. It's easy to find someone you can trust.
Look at that, sensational.
Now you see it, now you don't.
Where has that just come from?
Come on, boys, come on.
As we start a new calendar year and wrap up this college football season, not just for our great crews at ESPN, all the other networks that cover college football, especially for the players and the coaches, what they have gone through this fall to give us a college football season as strange as it's been.
We're fortunate to have it, and the players in particular went through so much to give us this season that you just have to be grateful that we've had as much of it and that we have this January 1st day, not only with this game, but with the great playoff games coming up after this game too. We're just fortunate to be in this position.
Players not seeing their friends and family for months and months at a time. We heard from a lot of players saying, I haven't eaten a meal that wasn't given to me in a cardboard box for 3 months. They've been through a lot.
Daily testing. Wake up and go find the swabs. If someone gives you a test every morning, eating out of the to-go boxes, telling your friends and family, sorry, can't see you.
And look, are there greater hardships across the country and across the world right now? There are. I'm not trying to overstate what these players have gone through. They're still well taken care of. They still have their football family around, but it has been a true sacrifice to get games in this season.
Well, and the uncertainty, not knowing from week to week whether your team was going to play or if you could play or whether your parents could come watch you play even though they couldn't see you after the game. All of that was trying for all the players.
So Auburn gets the ball back, still plenty of time, and they find Seth Williams for a catch and a gain of about 7 on first down. Let's go down to Kark.
You guys mentioned about the sacrifices, and it's staggering when you think of Northwestern. No positive cases. When we spoke to Patty Fisher yesterday, his leadership and his perspective and the way that he looked at things throughout this 2020 season. Not only a leader on the field, 392 career tackles. It's the most in the FBS. He's a leader in the locker room.
Bo Nix ducked away from a bigger hit, but a penalty flag is thrown. In fact, a couple of them are, as Nix gets the Auburn first down, and they're going to tack on some extra. J.R. Pace came in with the hit.
Yeah, you know, they're flagging him for targeting. Now, remember, there are 2 targeting rules.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, first down. The previous play is under further review.
One targeting rule is for defenseless player. The other one is for the crown of the helmet. When a quarterback gives himself up, he's now a defenseless player. So you follow that by going to the next couple of things you consider. One is you look for an indicator. He's defenseless now. Do you lead with the forearm, or you crouch, or you do something to try to get force to the upper body, upper area of the head, neck area? And do you have forcible contact in that area? And this, to me, is the kind of thing we've been trying to get out of the game for a while. It is a shot at a player's head, and it is a lowering and a leading with it. So to me, this is a call that's going to get confirmed, because when the quarterback gets himself up, you want to let it go.
The counter argument would be, okay, did he hit his head or did he hit his back? He turned his body. He didn't lead with his own helmet, but I see what you're saying about going through the checklist. And
yeah, so it really just becomes any part of the upper body hitting above the shoulder neck area. And
I don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, because the helmet doesn't matter here. It is the leading with the shoulder and the forearm to try to get to the head area.
Correct.
And as you said, it looked like it might have been shoulder. My initial look at it was, oh, he got him upstairs. But as you slow it down, he may not have been up that high. But to me, my initial reaction is, we don't want guys taking shots like that. Now, Nix could have slid feet first to make it easier. Well, because he didn't go feet first, I guess they might consider him not a defenseless runner.
Now, if he went feet first, I don't think there'd be any question. Yeah. But the way that he went into the end of that run, I think is going to take J.R. Pace off the hook.
Yeah. You know, you've convinced me of that now. Well, I mean, because, you know, the more
it's my first time being right all year.
No. I mean, he didn't go feet first, and that makes it a bit of a difference for me. He's not defenseless, I think, in that sense.
If I'm right, we'll see.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. Number 5 is not disqualified from the game.
Yeah, I still don't like the idea of guys going in that high when a guy is going to the ground. Now, it's not targeting, but it still could very well be a personal foul.
They take the penalty off. It's just a first down scramble for the sophomore quarterback. Bo Nix trying to help Auburn get closer in this game. It looked like this had a chance to be a blowout early. It was 14-0 Northwestern in the first quarter. Auburn has stabilized. Nix throws across the middle. Hits one of his tight ends, Brandon Frazier, for a gain out to the 40.
What's missing for Auburn are the big plays. And Schwartz isn't there. Tank isn't there. Williams hasn't been out there an awful lot. They haven't been able to get the chunk plays. And their offense has always been built around those chunk plays. This Northwestern defense is a bend but don't break defense, and they've eliminated the chunk plays.
Stove came in motion, but they faked a more standard handoff and let Nix get the first down himself toward the sideline. He's unhappy. I think he's unhappy with the Northwestern player, Brandon Joseph, the freshman All-American. These two were going after each other there.
Yeah. How are you doing? Happy New Year to you, too.
I'm not a lip reader from this far away. I don't think that's what was said.
I've watched a lot of your games. You guys are good. I'm good, too.
Bo Nix was not happy.
And Bo Nix is not backing down to anyone.
No. That slam pass caught by Samuel Schenker, the tight end, into Northwestern territory. Still plenty of time on the clock. Auburn being fairly deliberate. They can be. They have timeouts. They have still more than 2 minutes to go. You know, we had Brian Harsin on earlier in the second quarter. A huge task for him is going to be to unlock all that Bo Nix talent, get the passing game more consistent. We know what he could do with his legs, with his athleticism. But game to game, help Bo take that next step to being an elite quarterback.
Well, you're right. You know, as we watched him on tape, and, you know, we talked about this, he has a tendency to leave the pocket when he doesn't have to. And you'd like for him to stay in the pocket a little bit longer, wait for his receiver. You know, he's got great legs, but don't take off when you don't have to. You can make big plays in the passing game.
Brian Harsin's a really good quarterback coach. Nix from the ran a different route than what Nix was expecting. It's incomplete, and we'll get another check in studio.
All right, guys, with George 18, Daniels tries to get out of the rush, ends up coughing up the ball inside the red zone. Cincinnati recovers. They've still got the 21-10 lead over on ESPN. And don't forget, coming up at 4 o'clock, just under 2 hours, Alabama, Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl game played at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Nick Saban, the top seed, trying to get rid of Notre Dame. That coming up 4 p.m. Eastern today.
All right, thank you, Matt. Nix throws. And wide open along the sideline. Shedrick Jackson catch, ducks out of bounds. First down Auburn. Let me ask you a quick follow-up question. Look, a lot of this has to do with who's playing and who's not playing. Florida gets absolutely blown out. Georgia losing in their home state to Cincinnati.
Northwestern. 30-second timeout.
So we'll keep it here with the longtime defensive coordinator, not just at Northwestern, but it's sort of hard to believe, 51 years for Mike Hankwitz as a college coach. He has 390. If you add up all his wins as a coach and all his stops, 399 career wins. This will be his final game. He's going to retire at the end of this Citrus Bowl. And Northwestern, they use the number 400 all week long, all month long. They want number 400 for Coach Hank.
Yeah, definitely motivation for them. You know, he thought about retiring a couple years ago, and then, you know, his wife was pushing him to retire. And then last year they go 3-9, and he says, I can't go out like that. I got to come back for one more. And Fitzgerald's like, yeah, we're going to be good.
73 years old, the doctor of fundamentals, Mike Hankwitz.
Yeah, not overly complicated with what they do, but man, they do it well. Right spot. Every single time, just about.
His defense trying to keep Auburn out of the end zone. 14-3 Northwestern. 32 seconds to go until halftime. Nix. They'll throw toward the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Williams. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, that fade route is one of the lower percentage throws that you have in football, but it's very popular. And you have a guy like Seth Williams who can get up there. You have to make sure you give him a chance. You cannot overthrow that. If you're short with it, it's okay. It'll give him a chance.
That one he had no chance. Now another penalty flag. They had a false start last time they had a 3rd down.
False start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's the same guy, Alec Jackson again.
Yeah, he's toughing it out. A couple penalties here.
Auburn's offensive line has not played as well as they're used to on the Plains. It was a very inexperienced line coming into the year. It has been a problem. That is an area where Auburn needs to get better.
Yeah. They are missing Ham to
incomplete, out of bounds. Seth Williams saying he was in and then got shoved out, but he's not winning that argument, at least not before replay takes a look.
Nothing to see there that would suggest that he was in bounds. This angle. Nope, no control possession until it was on the white. And I agree with this decision here. Kick a field goal, you make it a 1-possession game, an 8-point lead. You can go in at halftime and go, well, we can't play much worse.
That was Cam Mitchell again on the coverage. I think you're right. This one, they're going to take a look, but the call on the field will be confirmed. Cam, more good coverage there, but he may have given up on that play a little early.
Yeah, but he didn't realize that Seth Williams is a long athlete. He's got the ability to reach out and get things. He can leap up and get them.
And I think, Rod, part of the frustration for Auburn fans, maybe even the administration this year. One of the reasons why Gus Malzahn doesn't have that job anymore. Seth Williams, Anthony Schwartz, Tank Bigsby.
You're right.
Auburn has playmakers on offense, and their offense has not been great.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
You're right. Those guys give you the ability to have big plays, and they just haven't been good at that. And the other thing that Auburn fans will point to is that for 6 years, they've had 4 or more losses in each of those years. And when you are as competitive as Auburn is, and you're staring across the way at Alabama, that's a problem.
So Northwestern's defense forces the field goal try with 21 seconds on the clock. Carlson, just a little chip shot for him right down the middle. A very talented kicker. Carlson's 2 for 2. Auburn is within 8 with 17 seconds to go in the first half.
And all things considered, if you're Auburn or Auburn fans, not bad to get out of this first half where you could have been run out of the stadium and you're only down 14-6.
What does a field goal look like from a blimp?
Wow.
Looks like that.
Yeah.
If you were ever wondering. Well, they have about, I think they estimated they were capped, and I don't know what the exact number is, somewhere between 12 and 13,000 fans, something like that, allowed to socially distance. The Northwestern fans who are barely clothed, they're so happy to be in the sunshine.
I was going to say there are a lot of people in parts of the country going, I think I'd like to be there. Was it 82 degrees or something like that today?
I mean, it was chilly last week here, unseasonably chilly in Orlando. Just ideal bowl game weather. It's snowing today in Chicago.
When Northwestern came down earlier in the week so that they could get out of the cold and, kind of enjoy the weather. Auburn came in yesterday afternoon.
Just 17 seconds on the clock. That'll be a touchback. You saw from the blimp view the field goal go. All right, well, it's warmed up. It's now 35 in Chicago. It's been snowing, I think, all morning and afternoon. A little gusty wind. Wind chill down to 22. Yeah, the Wildcats are happy to be in Orlando for the Verbo Citrus Bowl, taking a knee. And heading toward the locker room with their head coach wearing shorts. Why not? It's Florida. His team got off to a terrific start in this game. Give Auburn credit. They're hanging around. It's 14-6 at halftime. When we return, the guys in New Orleans will take over after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
European rugby is great.
Wherever there's rugby, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Join us
for Heineken Cup Rugby.
Now more than ever, you want to protect your family and belongings. With a home alarm system from SimpliSafe, you're in control. You customise, order, and get it quickly delivered. Right out of the box, our family of smart sensors is ready to protect. You simply set it up yourself in under an hour.
It's the Vrbo Citrus Bowl, a part of Capital One Bowl Mania on this gorgeous New Year's Day 2021 in Orlando, Florida. We get ready for the start of the second half. Northwestern out of the Big Ten with a 14-6 lead over Auburn from the SEC. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, great to have you back with us. Rod, I thought, look, Auburn gets some credit for hanging around, but I thought overall really impressive first half from the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was a first half dominated by Northwestern in just about every phase of the game, but Auburn is still within striking distance if they can generate some offense, some big plays.
All right, time to take a look at today's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. Peyton Ramsey had himself a heck of a first half.
Didn't he, though? I mean, he got things going with this touchdown pass to Jalkeo Bowman, and then comes back on a fourth down play to keep a drive alive, finding Lees, and then the defense stepped up to do their thing. And talk about trying to get Mike Hankowitz his 400th win. Cameron Mitchell in the end zone knocks away a ball, and a 30-minute period away from getting Hankowitz that 400th win of his career before he retires.
And by the end of the first half, the total yardage wasn't quite as unbalanced, but Peyton Ramsey very accurate with the football. Bo Nix not quite as accurate, especially when he went downfield. Auburn did not complete a pass of 15 yards or more.
Yeah, and they need those big plays. Now remember, they are missing Schwartz. They do have Seth Williams available, so the big plays are missing from the offense. And if you're an Auburn fan, you're hoping that you can find it on the perimeter, or that Bo Nix can get loose and make something happen.
Northwestern missing some key players themselves, but that doesn't appear to have been as big of a factor for the Wildcats. For more on that first half, let's go down to Kark.
Well, when I caught up with Pat Fitzgerald, he was pumped. He really loved the way Peyton Ramsey was playing, distributing the ball, and really getting multiple receivers involved in the game. He wants the run game to get going, though. Only 21 yards in that first half. Finishing the blocks will be key. Red zone defense rock solid, but in the second half, he's concerned about Bo Nix in the quarterback run game. Have to finish tackles when Tenon White is toting the rock.
Okay, good stuff, Kark, and he's toting the rock on first down here. Nix took a hit as he lowered his shoulder and sort of initiated that contact, got 2, maybe 3 yards.
On cue, there is the quarterback run game, and it's a great guess by Fitzgerald, because nothing else is working for Auburn in the run game. You have no Tank. Did I call you Keith? Who are you?
This is 2021. New Year's Day.
I'm so happy to be back in the booth. You know, I'm used to being in the booth with Quint Kesnick around.
Well, Quint Kesnick, Paul Carcaterra. We love them both. Third downs were not great for either team in the first half. Auburn just one conversion. Nix backpedaling in that one. I don't know if it got knocked down or hit a helmet of an offensive lineman. I couldn't tell, but it was deflected, incomplete. It's 4-3. Auburn's going to punt.
Yeah, how about this Northwestern defense? Yeah, that ball looked like it wasn't deflected, maybe hit a helmet. No, it was. There was the great big paw knocking it down. I think that was Adebore getting his hand up.
So now it's 4th and 3. You're right. The Northwestern defense in general has played really well. Not a surprise. The best defenses in the country this year. They averaged allowing just 15 points a game. A little bobble from Riley Lees, who goes backwards and goes down.
Certainly felt like their defense played well against Ohio State. They felt the 300 yards rushing that Troy Sermon got against them was an aberration. They were missing a couple of guys inside. But this game has been dictated to by the sound defensive play and the performance of that man, the quarterback.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Northwestern's run defense today has been really good. Auburn's a team that can run the ball. They don't have Tank Bigsby, but still. 1st and 10 for Ramsey and the Wildcats offense. A play fake on 1st down. Ramsey with Big Cat Bryant in pursuit. Dives ahead to get a couple yards.
How about Big Cat? I mean, he was pretty focused. We talked to him yesterday, and if there was one Auburn player who was completely dialed in, it was Big Cat Bryant. He's like, I need to play well. I want to play well. I had a bad ankle all season. This is my game to show what I can do.
He'll put his hand down. He'll stand up like he is here. Very versatile defensive player. Got blocked off that play. Smoke Monday came up and put a big hit on the Northwestern tailback, but it's 3rd down.
And again, sustaining drives. Northwestern has been able to come up with key plays on 3rd down and 4th down to keep drives alive.
That was one of the better runs for Cam Porter all game. He's been bottled up. 3rd and 3. Pocket, Ramsey going to scramble. He will get it. So a nice job. He's not Bo Nix with his feet, but Peyton Ramsey can help the Wildcats offense with his legs, and often did.
Does enough.
Well, pitch play to Porter, left side. With a good block out front. Again, one of the better run plays for Northwestern in this Citrus Bowl game. Close to a 1st down. A couple yards short. There is a penalty flag, and it's a hold.
Number 14. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
So that negates that run.
Marcavius Big Cat Bryant.
This was just a few weeks ago. Big Cat very proud when we talked to him yesterday. He's the first member of his family to get a college degree. He just graduated in December, playing his final game with Auburn. He's got, I think, a bright future ahead. And you said it, he is very motivated to play well in this game. He thought he wasn't healthy all year. He wanted to show his real talent on the field in Orlando. He's going down.
A late linebacker blitz, a delayed blitz by Owen Pappoe. You know, the delay on that was the critical part. You let the offensive line develop its blocking, and then you come flying through into the gap. And Pappoe did it with a great big block on you see there's a big hold over there on Big Cat. Could have thrown a flag on that.
Everything's big with Big Cat, including an offensive lineman grab him and wrestle him toward the ground. Screen pass. And that one's pretty well set up by the Northwestern. Smoke Monday. He's playing a good game here. Came up to make the tackle.
Well, you know, Big Cat is certainly having an impact on this drive 5. And, you know, I found him to be a very thoughtful guy. We talked to him yesterday, and he mentioned that he has 2 kids, 2-year-old twins, and he said one thing about being a father, it taught me how to treat people. More patient, thinking more of others.
Well, I'm the dad of twins. It's hard for me to imagine being a college football player, a student going for your degree, and a dad of twins all at the same time. Big Cat got a hand on the ankle of Peyton Ramsey, and I think that slowed him up just enough. He won't get credit for the tackle, but his teammates came up and helped out.
Yeah, McClain is down. You see Big Cat using his hands really well and almost getting Ramsey, but McClain is down, and it looks now like there's another Auburn player down as well.
Yikes. They did force 4th and 6, so they're probably going to get the ball back for their offense, but Jacoby McClain will head off the field. One of his teammates still down on the turf. Maybe TD Moultrie. Will find out who that is when we come back right after this. Well, it was good to see. It was a damaging play for Auburn. Jacoby McClain and TD Moultrie both were down on the turf. Both get up and walk off the field. So now, out of the timeout, Northwestern will punt the ball back to the Tigers. Playing his final game with Northwestern.
Had a good career at Northwestern. Yeah, think about this senior class at Northwestern. A couple of Big Ten West titles, played in some big bowl games.
Well, just on the defensive side of the ball, Pace, Gallagher, Fisher, Brown, Spivak, Sanders, now wide open down the right sideline. There's a big play in the pass game. Still going. What a catch and run for Elijah Canyon. Touchdown, Auburn. Fifth. 57 yards, and the last 33 was Canyon on his own.
Unbelievable. A defense that rarely has a fundamental mistake had one here, as you see, completely all by himself. Canyon running free. Hampton, who was the defender to that side, was a good 10 yards behind him.
Auburn's going to kick the extra point, not go for 2 here in the third quarter, and it's up and good. Tigers within 1. Finally, a big play through the air for Auburn.
A little patience. There you see a blown assignment. Who comes in? Who's got the coverage? No help deep. And get off me. I got an end zone in sight.
A lot of great moments in the history of the Citrus Bowl, including Auburn. Ronnie Brown with a spectacular play, game-winning touchdown back in 2003. Georgia Tech beat Nebraska and claimed a share of the national title based on their win in the Citrus Bowl. And I think, look, the Rose Bowl's got a great logo, but to me, that's my favorite logo.
Yeah.
Of the bowl season.
Truth be known, we could come back here every year and be very happy.
Great spot. Especially on a day like today, where it's 80 degrees. There are a few little puffy clouds in the sky, but what a way to ring in 2021 in Orlando. And we got a ball game. It was 14-0 early. Northwestern looked like they were on their way to a romp. Not the case, not at all. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll take another look at the long touchdown play for Auburn.
You rarely see Northwestern make a mistake as they do here. That's A.J. Hampton. Watch what he does here. He's peeking into the backfield. Where are you going? Where are you going? He does not have help there. There's nothing back there. He bites on what looks like a play-action fake, not his responsibility. Canahan pays no attention to it, just gets down the field, and then the stiff arm at the end to get into the end zone. That's playmaking.
That was abuse of A.J. Hampton. He just tossed him aside. So that play has Auburn within a point, 14-13. Still a long way to go here. 8:32 on the clock, third quarter. Cam Porter trying to get to that corner, and when you go to the corner, that's about all you're getting right now against this Auburn defense. Let's go down on the field to Clark.
Keep an eye on Riley Lees, 19 in purple. Moments ago, he was in the training tent getting his back worked on. He wasn't on the field for that last return. Typically, he is one of the return guys. They need him in this game. He's a security blanket for Peyton Ramsey. Had a huge catch in that first half.
Good blocker from his wide receiver spot. Play fake. Ramsey nowhere to go with the ball. Does a good job getting out. Now just trying to run. And here comes the speed of Auburn. Closing speed big time. That was Ladarius Tennyson, the true freshman who's playing a lot of snaps, and that was just a little glimpse of why they like him.
Yeah, they're not worried. Listen to this hit. That's a legal, clean hit, and man, don't worry about the star position in that backfield for the next couple of years.
Not just the sound of the hit, but the reaction from the fans who are here in Orlando. It's 3rd and 4. Ramsey, give him credit. He made something out of that play. Here comes the Auburn pass rush. Ramsey got rid of it and got it complete to his tight end Rain for a Northwestern first down. That was a heck of a play.
He was hanging in there as Big Cat Bryant was about to get a bite out of him.
The Auburn pass rush was quiet early. Northwestern was controlling the line of scrimmage. That has changed a little bit. Northwestern, it's been a long time since they got points on the board. Ramsey this time has forever. He's going to throw it out to Rain again with a lot of room in front to midfield and more. Rain will be driven out of bounds, but into Auburn territory. Big gain through the air of 21 yards.
And Rain just got lost as he came out. He chipped on Big Cat Bryant, little block, and he was ignored by Papo, the linebacker there. So he got outside by himself. So Northwestern finding a little something in the short game.
Yeah, they're throwing the ball. There's Riley Lees. We just heard from Paul about his not quite 100% healthy, but he's still contributing for the Wildcats. Auburn's stuffing the run, so Northwestern's going to put the ball in the hands of their quarterback.
He's doing a good job with the change of tempo.
A little fake pitch. Monday in the backfield pursuing Ramsey, who will throw. And that catch, effort, incomplete along the sideline, but out of bounds.
Well, Ramsey did a great job avoiding the blitz. He had Smoke Monday coming in on that safety blitz. And then you see the throw, catch. Does he have? No, he's out of bounds. By the time he controlled it, clearly out of bounds.
Auburn's done a good job against number 81, Jockio Bowman, who had a huge start to this game. Such a good wide receiver for the Wildcats. It's 3rd and 3. Tight end in motion. They're going to pitch it to Porter, who cuts straight ahead and gets just drilled after gaining a yard.
Oh, my.
Jacoby McClain, you make that hit, you can take a bow.
Absolutely. You know, the momentum is changing in this game, and it's because of the Auburn defense. Look at this play. I mean, you had McClain there, but Smoke Monday was also there. That was a double hit.
So here's Northwestern going for it. They've done it all game long. They motion Ramsey. This is not Ramsey. That's Lees, who can throw the ball, but he's going to be upended.
Speed. Jalen Simpson, speed.
Auburn gets the stop. Northwestern went for it on 4th down, and Simpson made a heck of a play. So the Auburn Tigers, I think you're right, momentum is on their side. They're within a point, and now their defense comes up big.
Defense is starting to flex a little bit, and you see it well with Simpson here. Speed and the hit. Yeah, Auburn back in it.
Wherever there's rugby, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
I know what you're thinking. Another ad selling the dream of self-improvement. It looks so easy. Yeah, right. We know it's not all sunshine and six-packs, so why not choose an easier goal to accomplish, like stock investing on eToro? Simply choose a stock, set an amount, and hit trade. And because buying stocks is commission-free, you get to keep everything. Now that's something you can stick to. Join over 15 million others like you and start investing today. Visit stocks.etoro.com or download the app. Lovely.
Sarah, sales assistant, seals the deal every date night with Gastro sea salt and black pepper bassa fillets. Fancy. Jason, personal trainer, packs a real punch with some post-workout protein. Gastro Mediterranean fish bakes. Boom. We've been perfecting fish for over 200 years, so you can master mealtimes. We are Young's Masters of Fish.
When your home needs help
and the problem's too big to ignore, post the job on My Builder
and get someone who you'll adore.
Post your job and get a vetted local tradesperson on mybuilder.com.
In CSR2, the race is always on. Over 200 racing cars to collect and tune in a stunningly realistic world. Download CSR2 now for free.
We do things a little differently here at the AA. Our cutting-edge technology means we can get you going again in around 30 minutes of arrival. And with our Tap and Track app, you can follow your AA mechanic all the way to your side. Plus, with unlimited call-outs, we'll be there when you need us. Switch to a different kind of breakdown service for just £6 a month. Call 0800 29 44 999. That's 0800 29 44 999.
Discover the finest quality made-to-measure blinds, shutters and curtains at Blinds Direct. A huge selection of beautiful window dressings to suit every room. Handmade here in the UK with a 5-year guarantee for your peace of mind. Order your free samples today and choose your perfect design. Our extensive range is exclusively online, delivered direct to your door. Don't miss our 50% off sale items. Shop now and create your dream home with blindsdirect.co.uk.
At Tax Guards, we help you do your taxes. Take Sarah here. She's been almost doing her taxes for a while now. Sarah, that's where we can help. TaxGuard sorts your self-assessment for you. Just go online, fill in your income, answer a few questions, and a qualified accountant will do your taxes. All for just £119 all in. Head to taxguards.com now and get your taxes sorted.
Milo?
It's just incredible.
Wants to be involved.
Oh, what a fantastic goal! Absolutely magnificent. Oh, yes! That is just superb! A little less than an hour for the first of those two college football playoff semifinal games. Meanwhile, here at the Verbose although it's taking a Northwestern friendly bounce, it's still going to be poor field position for the Wildcats offense. Capital One Orange Bowl, Texas A&M and North Carolina. Who's going to play for the Tar Heels?
Yeah.
So many of their top players are not going to play in that game, but just a remarkably good job done by our friend and colleague Mac Brown. In a couple of years, he's got North Carolina into arguably their biggest bowl game in decades. Porter gets the carry on first down. Even when you think there's a hole in an opening, and Smoke Monday's playing a heck of a game. He was right there to close that hole up.
He has been dynamic, and he's been dynamic all year long. I mean, I tell you, that pick he had, that pick six, 100 yards, that was one of the defensive plays of the year.
Indeed it was. Second and 8. Ramsey play fake. Ramsey will throw middle, and it is caught. What a catch by the tight end, Rain. In traffic with good coverage there. He snatched it away for Northwestern first down.
I didn't know he had that in him. The grad transfer from Florida Atlantic shows you that he's got some hops and some big hands, and there's Lee's on the ground again. As Paul mentioned earlier, it was unclear if he was going to be able to keep going. He got back out there. Now he's back down again. Here you see on the right side, Rain coming out and getting up to make that play. And Lees is on the opposite side and just pulls up lane, lower back left side.
Well, that's what Paul was telling us.
Yeah.
They were working on his back, and clearly it's locking up again. I hope he can get back on the field. You know that Riley Lees, all the football he's played for Northwestern, he does not want his college career to end on the sideline. Play you've referenced a couple times. Smoke Monday, I think one of the defensive plays of the year in college football.
Yeah, you dream about plays like this. I mean, not only does he show great hands, but great speed, instincts, gets a little help from his teammates, couple of blocks, but that's a ball that's going in for a touchdown, and it goes the other way for Auburn. One of the plays of the year.
Our friend Joe Tessitore, who made the call on that game and emphasized the smoke part of Smoke Monday's name on that return. My son, that's now his favorite college football player just because of the name.
He's not the only one. There are a whole lot of folks that are fans of Smoke Monday because of that play.
Smoke Monday's got 7 tackles, including 2 behind the line of scrimmage in this game. That's Evan Hull coming around the edge. He got knocked out of bounds after getting 3 yards on first down. Close to midfield. Northwestern could use when they moved the ball the last time they had it and then botched the 4th down attempt and got nothing to show for it.
Well, let's see if they are a little bit more basic this time and not cute or overthinking it.
Ramsey going to roll right. Ramsey really playing a heck of a game. Just threw that one away.
Smart play. Smart play.
Big question for Northwestern whether he's going to be back next year. I think if he's back, I mean, look, college football is so different than it used to be. Who knows who could end up being the quarterback of this team if he's not. But if he is, I think that changes the outlook for the Wildcats in 2021.
You know what makes things really different? Transfer portal. I mean, Pat Fitzgerald said he wants to know, he's giving his guys time to decide whether they stay or leave, and then he's going to go out and fill holes.
He's asked his quarterbacks to let him know right after this game, maybe not immediately after. That pass complete, and the open field tackle, the fight for the first down, very close. And Jockey Bowman, he was not going to go down easily. He got real close. The spot. And they say first down Northwestern. What a great individual effort that was.
Back to your point, with the new transfer rules, you can get a guy, you can get a quarterback like they did this year with Ramsey, who can come in and be eligible right away. So it's not like you have to get a guy and wait a year for him, but you don't have to worry about trying to get a freshman in, but you can have a guy come right away.
The ruling on the field was the first down was made.
They want to take a look at that.
Previous play is under further review.
So they on the field they signaled first down. They're going to review it.
Let's see where his knee goes down.
But that's Owen Pappoe. That's one of the best linebackers in the SEC that Jockey Bowman is fighting to try to get through.
Yeah, he winds up on top of a player. He's on top of Pritchett as he goes down here. So nothing is down until his shoulder is down in front.
I think that was a good spot.
Yeah.
Because you're right, he landed on top of the defensive player. He was not down as he was able to stretch the ball out.
Yeah, I think the initial thought was maybe he was down there, but look what happens.
Nope. You're right.
Yeah, he flips over.
Well, remember that play. I mean, Northwestern, the way they've done it in this game, they were going to go for it on 4th down anyway, but those have not been a guarantee. That's 3rd down, and your wide receiver against a top-level linebacker, one-on-one essentially, and he got through him.
Fighting for the extra yard, the struggle.
They're not even really one-on-one. One-on-two. Nehemiah Pritchett's a good player too.
That's a heck of an effort.
I think the spot was perfect.
Well, remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn it. I didn't see anything to overturn it.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
All right, Jockey Bowman. with another big play for his Wildcats. Northwestern's drive continues. It's 1st and 10 from Auburn territory. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter on this beautiful Orlando day, New Year's Day 2021. Fleming, Rock, Gilmore, Paul Carcaterra with Porter in the backfield, and they have Porter set up to take a direct snap, but they're going to bring Ramsey into the backfield, so we'll see. They give it over and over today. Northwestern goes for it on 4th down as much as anybody. They certainly have in this game, so we'll see. Ramsey will step up, and he's going to run with a lot of green in front. He's going to get the 1st down and more inside the 10. Ramsey, touchdown Northwestern.
Great decision. There's man coverage everywhere. You see it. And when that happens, there's nobody with eyes on the quarterback. He gets out of the pass rush lanes and into the end zone. Man coverage ran everybody out of the field, and Ramsey recognized it right away and took off. Great decision.
And enough speed to get all the way in for the Northwestern touchdown, their first points since the first quarter in the final minute plus of this third quarter.